Uh, what's happening, world? Happy Friday. Welcome to an episode of Cognac Confessionals. I'm your host, Deshaun, here at Where Media Meets Studios in conjunction with VJ TV, Farrell Films, History in the Making Entertainment, Keep It Cloudy Productions. On this Friday, July, the 29th? Last Friday of the month. Summer is escaping us rapidly. Got a nice show lined up for y'all tonight. Hope y'all having a good time. I'm gonna let my guest go ahead and introduce himself.
What it do? I'm Tristan Johnson. Tristan Funny on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everything. Tristan Funny.
Tristan, that's right,
Yeah.
comedian. My man's in the building with us tonight. We're gonna be going into his endeavors, what he got going on. As you know, my co-host Farrell the Most, he'll be here shortly. You know, everybody start at the same time, but we going. Excuse me. So
That's Friday traffic.
it's Friday. You know, we also got comedian Nashima Ford coming in tonight too. So I got a full show lined up for y'all with some funnies, Bay Area talent. You know what I'm saying? So my good man,
What's going on?
how long have you been doing comedy? Tell people who you are and what you do.
I'm Tristan Johnson from Oakland, California, by way of Sacramento, California.
Town biz is what it is.
Town biz is what it is, but if it ain't the heights, it ain't right.
Hey, DPH.
That's right.
Class of 92.
Class of 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you went to Grant, sir.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Class of 92.
That's good. In 92, I was in the 4th grade.
Damn. Baby feel like an old ass nigga.
Right.
Oh,
I think in 92, I think Tupac and E40 did a video at my elementary school.
Uh-huh.
They did Practice Looking Hard at Golden Gate Elementary,
Uh-huh.
right there by the center, over there off of San Pablo. Yeah, I remember the days. Everybody, the girls wearing Jodeci boots with the jeans with the leather.
Oh, the
front
leather
on it.
suede fronts.
The suede front.
Yeah, the suede
Remember,
fronts.
cats had the trench coat with the
the
man.
derbies and the. Those the days.
People
man.
wore baseball outfits. Remember that with the stripes and shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We had our frat jerseys with our numbers and our names on them. Yeah, we was doing it.
Yeah,
Baseball jerseys.
bucket hats and trench coats, and dressing like Juice.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. The overalls, all that shit.
All that stuff back in '92. We got the president that played the saxophone.
Yeah, we was doing it big back then. You know what I'm saying? It was live.
It was live. I remember back there we had R. Kelly
Yeah.
talking about, "Hey, Mr. DJ."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you wasn't singing that, man.
You had back then, bro. It was hella shit going on back then. You had Doc's Boxing Be Fresh, Slow Love.
Yeah,
That song was it was oh man, it was.
and the 2 Big Macs for $5. We used to have that. Michael Jackson dropped the Dangerous album.
Uh-huh.
Mary J was the new one on the
Oh
block.
yeah, what's the 411?
What's the 411? That's definitely the greatest female album,
Debut album?
debut album of all time, and probably the best female R&B album ever. I'm big on my I'm too old
I can
to
rock with you with that.
I'm too old to beef over street stuff,
Yeah.
but I
Oh,
will
yeah.
fight you over R&B albums. Like, what's the top
Okay.
5?
Top 5? Top 5 R&B
Yeah.
albums. Ooh.
If you don't put 100% Genuine up there in the top 5,
Top 5? Oh.
if you don't put Don't Be Cruel in the top 5,
Okay. I can see a strong argument for Don't Be Cruel in the top 5.
yeah, Don't Be Cruel. Every song was a single.
Yeah. That was a dope album back then. Yeah.
And
That's
then
what
the other 2 that's in the top 5, I still got 3 slots, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I would put the 411 in there.
Okay. Yeah. There's no argument on the 4.
And then I think 4 and 5 got the same name. N.E. Heartbreak and J.E. Heartbreak.
Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on what era you from.
Yeah. Any Heartbreak was Any Heartbreak.
Any Heartbreak, Stand the Rain.
That was dope. That was There's plenty of jisms to that album.
Yeah. What was that? I'm
what
Sorry.
About Keith Sweat album.
Well,
Make It Last Forever.
I love Keith Sweat. I always sing the girl parts of Keith Sweat songs. Right. I love when the girls sing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got to go J.E. Heartbreak, Jagged Edge. That album, He Can't Love You, and Let's Get Married, I Promise, all that. That
was
there. I know some people got their own favorite. They would go the first album of Boys to Men.
I was actually, I was like, wait a minute.
I know on Facebook I'm probably getting cussed out like you don't know no better, but
let me see. I was gonna say that
first
that Boys to Men album, bruh. That Boys to Men album was that was him.
Yeah, that was something. They couldn't follow it up, but it did it.
That first Boys to Men album was him because everybody had their little quartet thing going on back then.
Yeah, Boys to Men was dressed like you. Yeah. Had the jean shorts with the tie on, with the dress shirt, with the hat.
Cats used to dress like that in high school.
Yeah, they was that black college look.
Them High Five. I'm trying to think who else back then. You had
Father MC.
You had what other groups you had? You had Deuce. They only had one song though.
Yeah.
Deuce.
I'm young, but I'm the baby brother.
Yeah.
So I had to like stuff that people was 7 years older than me that would like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So some people be like, "How do you even care about that stuff?"
Because they was listening to it.
It ain't like I got the man up on the stereo and play what I wanted to play.
You got to listen to what was being played.
Right. I'm a little kid. I want to listen to Mr. Brain's Oochie Coochie La La La.
Oh, that's enough. Yeah,
and my brothers, they listening to 415.
That's right. Sideshow.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
My brothers was listening to, of course, EPMD. Anything they made.
EPMD was slap, yeah. That slapped back then.
Yeah, that EPMD was real cool.
Matter of fact, DOS Effects came out. Matter of fact, Diggable Planets came out when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That Cool Like That was rocking, and then that's when it was a few rap crews because I had bars, but it was a few cats.
Remember Coop?
Oh, the Cool, yeah.
Yeah. When they first came out,
Fat Cats and Bigger Fish.
Mm-hmm.
That's my shit.
Yeah.
Kill My Landlord.
When that album came back, we used to live off of 85th and D.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to come by the crib and say what's up to my brothers and stuff. Yeah, Boots.
Pharaoh was the Cool's road manager. Which is that? Which is it? This nigga better have him get here. He be here in a minute, y'all. Y'all know how we do. I don't wait for people. We keep it moving because y'all.
He probably listening from the car right now.
He probably is. So we've been down memory lane, but let's focus on you for a minute. You've been doing comedy for how long?
I started in 2009. Mother's Day 2009.
Mm.
Yeah, I did it. That's a month before Michael Jackson died.
Damn.
Yeah, I started, I did it once, and I was good, and then I came back. And then I got booked on a show. I got booked on the show the very first time I did comedy. And I started at the Touch of Class in Sacramento.
Shout out to Touch of Class.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tia.
Yeah.
She class in 93. But
okay. Yeah. See, I didn't move to Sacramento until 98, so I only know people around my age in Sacramento.
Yeah. Tia, that's folks. She's a bartender there.
Yeah. Tia's good.
916 favorite bartender.
Yeah, Kevin Hart shot the first Heart of the City there. Mm-hmm. I was there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We used to go there when I was... So I moved up there in 90, the summer of 90, and I graduated in 92, and then I moved back to Oakland in 94. So I was only up there for a little bit, but I got folks up there. My nigga Barney, Cuzzo Barney.
Barney B, that was my first DJ. Huh?
That's Rock's cousin.
Word?
Yeah.
Oh, Barney is everything. They call me Baby Barney B.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I could be Baby Barney B again since I gained the weight back. Cousin. Yeah, Barney B always been a mentor to me in the hood. When I had my first show, Nutty Mondays, Barney B was the DJ.
Okay.
And that's when we started. I started at the Touch of Class, and then I branched off and did my own thing called Nutty Mondays, and I named it after the Nutty North.
Okay, yeah.
And that was a big success. So, yeah, Barney B was there for me from day one. But even before I did comedy, Barney B was like, you know, the man going up.
Beat class of 90.
And he was in the band, right?
Yep. Drumline. Mr. Henderson. Yeah.
So, you know.
Mr. Jenkins, I'm saying Henderson. Mr. Jenkins.
Yeah. Who else?
Was the band teacher at Grant.
So, you know Scoob and all them?
Yeah. Class of 91, yeah.
Yeah, see those?
Dame, all them.
Yeah,
Demond, we just did our 30 year in we was all in Vegas. We just were class of 92. We just was in Vegas.
Yeah, I grew up with Scoob's little brother Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Moses is a great guy. When I came from Oakland, I didn't know that many people, and they lived so close to the school.
Yeah.
Just walking home, I got to meet them. You know what I mean? Of course.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I started in 09 at the Touch of Class, and my uncle always told me to do comedy, but when he passed away, I spoke at his funeral. And then a couple of weeks later, I just tried it because he always told me, he said, forget all that rap stuff. You funny. Stop trying to be a gangster. You funny. You naturally funny. But so I tried it, and I couldn't undo it. Once I started, I just couldn't undo it.
That's what's happening. That's the business. Yeah. So, what do you think, looking at comics and comedy, I think there's an attack on comedians, freedom of speech. I think comedy is one of the rare places where you should be able to say any and everything.
Right.
It should be absolute freedom of speech against whatever, whoever, however, because it's comedy. It's supposed to be relief, to smile, laugh. Don't get me wrong, I get it. Some people get their feelings hurt and, whatnot. But I think the recent, with all the old stuff, like the Chappelle incident, the Will Smith shit, which, that was some bitch-ass shit. But just, I think then you got these organizations going after comedians for really just speaking their truth. They're funny. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, the definition of comedy is pretty much verbal liberty. It's certain things I can't say to you serious, but I can say everything jokingly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And jokingly, I could, say something about, your shirt or something like that, and it's a joke. You know what I mean? So, I feel like, words have power.
Yeah.
If joking or not, words have power, and if people are trying to take away your words, they're taking away your power. If they trying to get you not to think in a different way or see the whole picture, then you got to watch what they actually want you to see. You know what I mean? And they only want you to see it their way.
Right. They want you to live in a box.
Yeah, they want you to be in a box, stay on
seconds.
track. Yeah, so of course slaves was making jokes when they was picking cotton.
Of course.
So comedy is freedom in comedy.
Yeah.
It's a perspective, and sometimes if I tell you something, you might not listen. That's like how the Bible is written in
Caesar's book, yeah.
Yeah, the Bible is written not just for you to learn from the Bible, it's for the Bible to reveal things to you. The Bible ain't just telling you, it's revealing.
My nigga Whiteout watching. What's up, bruh?
Oh yeah, Whiteout's the guy.
That's my guy.
Whiteout is my evil twin.
That's my guy.
Yeah. People call me the good Whiteout. they call him the bad Trissy.
Oh.
Yeah, so me and Whiteout the same person.
That's my guy. Yeah. So I think that I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Comedy is good for the soul. It's good for everything. And there's shit that just needs to be said.
Right.
And I mean respectfully, but yeah, there's shit that just needs to be said. But regardless of whatever group, because me, I'm one of them kids, I grew up, I was a bag master. And for y'all don't know what bagging is capping, roasting, playing at dozens, all that. I'm fucking champion. We did that shit. You grew up with that shit.
Right. It gave you tough skin.
Yes.
I don't know. Nobody got bagged on, went home, committed suicide. We got bagged.
Pilgrims do. They shoot up schools. When they can't handle it.
Yeah. We got bagged on, had to ride on the bus. So then,
thank you. You ride on the bus, whether you was Oakland, you ride the AC Transit, you had to have heart to sit in the back of the bus. If not, you sit your ass before the double door, the side door.
Remember the big buses with the connector like that?
You didn't go past that shit if you couldn't handle the heat.
We used to take
Coming
the
out the back of that
72
bus.
all the way to Acorn, back to the east.
Yeah.
The 82, the 72. And the 72 used to take us all the way to Richmond.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's comedy is, and just the essence of it, where, the roots of it, everything, like you said, bagging, everything. Even you think about your parents or your family members, somebody was always joking about something, doing something. That shit is
that's how you know if somebody really fucking with you.
Mm-hmm.
If I come in here and you don't joke with me, I'm like, son don't like me.
Right.
I'm like, he obviously don't like me because he only talk when he has to.
Right. It's an icebreaker. Excuse me. It's an icebreaker. It's communication. It's a form of love. It's a virtual handshake, hug.
Yeah, and there's no way around it. There's no way around it. And just think about, I feel like they should teach comedy in school.
Hey, when I was a kid, if you couldn't hang, don't sit by us.
And think about the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
The boring teachers is the ones that couldn't joke with you. So if they can't joke with you, then the longer they talk for an hour, you ain't learning nothing.
Right.
But if a teacher is a cool teacher and he
can
can break
engage
things
you?
down,
Yes,
you will learn it so well, you'll go and teach somebody else.
Yes.
And that's why it's hard for, if you don't relate to the kids, how can you teach the kids if you don't laugh with them?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like,
Yes, sir.
for us black comics, we got to go to the white comedy clubs and get our foot in the air. We got to get on TV, get our foot in there. That's where the real money comes from. That's why I'm flexible. I do a lot of white shows. I do a lot of church shows. I do a lot of hood shows. But the money comes from me getting in those comedy clubs.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is sometimes when the white guys come to the black rooms, they bomb a lot. But it's like, how could you tell a joke to somebody you would never hang out with? You know what I mean? If you can't relate to a person, then, so I try to tell the new comics, especially the new white comics, just stick around. Stick around. Make a friend. And I bet you meet a new friend, you're going to get a new joke. That's why I talk to everybody. I don't care if you handicapped, blind, gay, straight, different religion.
We love everybody.
A new friend is going to bring a new joke. If you got writer's block, go and make a friend. Go on a walk.
Yeah. It'll come to you.
It'll come to you.
Like Cuzzo Rock. Come on in, Rock. Comedian. First season of Comic View.
Hey. He know what I'm talking about.
Rock know. Yeah. Soul Beat. Alumni.
Yeah, I was listening to you when you were talking about, like, the white comics. See, the thing about white comics being in black clubs is they always come and then they start doing what is so-called black comedy. Like, you get a white dude and he starts talking in slang. Or, I'm just trying to keep it real. And black audience love that shit when white boys talk black. And that's what gets them over. Me doing comedy back in the day, one of my partners, he used to be on this show called Nick Freno. He used to do that. You know what I mean? A lot of
I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, you do that.
I mean, we saw that with Jeremy Lin. Ain't that his name, the basketball player?
Right.
We saw an Asian dude playing basketball. So we act like we ain't never seen basketball before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it makes it easier for them. A comedian friend of mine, his name is John Austin, right? John Austin, legend in the Bay. But John told me one thing. That,
I got you, Provost. I got you. I'm asking you a question.
When you go to, like, these white clubs, they talk about everything. They'll talk about hunting. They're talking about vacationing with their family. They're talking about all of this. When you go to some of these black clubs, the first thing they do is talk about sex. That's it. The first thing, like, all we do is fuck. That's it. You know what I mean? Where the black comics that are actually getting over, talk about a variety of shit. You know what I mean?
The most.
And that's the thing that we got to learn how to do with comedy, especially black comics. Like, dude, if you talk about this, like, you go to a white club and hit,
you go here.
You're doing your shit because you're talking about a variety of shit and not just this.
Yeah,
Right.
Chris Rock. I saw the interview Chris Rock just did with Kevin Hart,
Right.
and he told Kevin Hart, you're not the black explosion comic. You are a more intimate comic." And I'm telling you, I've been doing comedy that long, and that woke me up. Like, oh, I keep on trying to do comedy like I gotta out nigga every nigga that's grabbed the microphone in their life. I'm just gonna out nigga you when I could be telling jokes about the moon, the stars, the plants, the everything.
Comedy is a storytelling.
My dream is to get at the Paramount and out nigga every nigga. You know what I mean? So now, just that interview just changed like my direction. Like I need to be a hell of a Tristan Johnson.
There you go.
I don't need to out nigga, because where does that go?
It's a
It
dime
puts
a
you.
dozen.
It puts
That's
you.
what they
It
call
puts you in a box.
It put me in the box. So then you get so they build up the show. They get a Atlanta nigga, a Chicago nigga, a LA nigga, a Oakland nigga, and then they think they're getting the best niggas in the major cities. You know what I mean? When we could have deeper comedy.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. I like that.
So yeah, Chris. That's why you got to respect Chris Rock for that. That really opened up my eyes, and I had to adjust. I was like, Tristan, the dream is bigger than that.
Chris Rock was one of the first comics to drop a mic. I seen Chris Rock back in 86, 87. And it was on this thing called Uncle Ray Murphy's comedy special. Eddie Murphy's uncle. That's been, in a lot of his movies. And it was Chris Rock, it was Barry Sobel, it was Marsha Warfield, and Arsenio
He
Hall.
had the Jerry curl.
Yeah.
And the messed up teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can find that on YouTube if you look deep.
And one of his my favorite jokes is when he was talking about Columbus. He said, how is you gonna come to somebody when there's motherfuckers already here? Like, I'm gonna go to your backyard, nigga, plant a flag, go, nigga, this is my backyard.
I found you.
That shit was funny.
Yeah.
But he's always been that deep, and it took motherfuckers a while to get him. But if you look at his shit, he's funny as hell. Because he tells other shit.
Yeah, with comedy going deeper with comics, with a lot of black comics, or I'm not even gonna say black comics, is going deeper is like leg day at the gym. You know what I mean? Everybody want to bench press.
Right.
I could bench press. Oh, you got a baby mama? That's easy to tell. That joke. That's curling.
Yeah.
Right.
You could just say the word baby mama and somebody's gonna snicker.
Right.
It's impossible not to laugh. Just say the word
giveaways.
baby mama. Say lace front. Somebody's gonna snicker. And some people think they're really a comedian because they said lace front and walk and drop the mic.
But working blue is a time-honored tradition as well, though. Because, you go back to Red Fox and all them type of people. So there is, in the black community, there is a lane for blue, so-called blue comics.
But just how you
But they
tell
had
it, though.
some deep blue.
Yeah.
They had some deep blue.
Red Fox's jokes was based on, they were jokes. They were set up, punchline, set up, punchline.
Storytellers.
Red Fox, when he used to be in clubs, he had a piano player. You know what I mean? And he was telling his jokes to the piano player, but it was just set up, punchline, set up, punchline. That's what they did.
Chad has an interesting question.
Yeah. So Chad, brother Provost Ujima in the building, said, "Is Gary Owens funny because he was married to a black woman?"
No, I'm talking about his other comment.
I got that too, but I was gonna hit his first one.
Well,
It's good to get the new. Yeah, I get that. It's good to get the nuances. That's what I just tell you before that.
Yeah.
If you got writer's block, walk outside and meet a new friend. So we're black. You won't even notice the nuances about me because you do the same thing I do. But when somebody else steps into the room, they can see black women different than we see our own sisters, our own aunties, our own mamas. So it's a different experience. The same thing as if we dated a Asian chick, a white chick, or something like that. But if that's Gary Owens' lifestyle, then yes, we want your perspective. If you spent 20 years in the Navy, we want a Navy. Take me to the Navy and make it funny.
but you look at his jokes between Gary Owens and Bill Burr. Bill Burr is also married to a black woman.
Right.
Touche.
Bill-
You wouldn't even know it.
You wouldn't even know it.
In
but
fact, I have
his
two of
shit-
Bill Burr's comedy albums.
just
and
watched-
I
The
never
last
knew he
one,
was a
White
black
Tiger,
woman.
that was
not
fucking
part of his act at all.
hilarious.
Bill Burr is a beast.
I only knew Bill Burr was married to a black woman by seeing people mention on Twitter. But I have two of his albums.
Yeah.
And I listened to them whole things. And yes, he would sometimes talk about his mate, but it was he never mentioned that his mate was black, and there was no playoff to that. There was no joke to that. There was no cultural references.
And the thing I will say about that, he didn't use it as a crutch to get
But then
the
Bill
black
Burr
vote.
is here, and Gary Owens.
I get it. No, but I'm saying he didn't use that to get the black sympathy crutch.
I feel like it's room for both a Gary Owen and a Bill Burr, and they serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, even when I say Gary Owens
because
is
it's
here,
like
that's
with
still
comedy,
above
it's
average.
almost like rap. I don't care how much you love Jay-Z and Nas. Your heart would be broken if there were never a Juvenile or Mystical. You get what I'm saying? Those songs are important. Are they deep? No. But you can't tell me Juvenile ain't important to you.
Oh, of course
as a
it is.
black person, as a country black person,
For the
hands
9-9. Back that ass up.
I mean,
Did
but
you imagine?
That's the
if
balance.
there was no back that ass up?
Jay-Z will never give you a hump. That's you will never.
Imagine if there was no back that ass up.
That would be
If there was
tragic.
never no shake your
Yeah,
ass.
what he say?
Watch
Your
yourself.
girl put you on child support, huh?
Yeah.
That's my shit.
You went to court, huh? You ain't even give much say a word, huh? You know?
Need that.
That is my
Yeah.
Need that.
You was robbing
And-
them little dudes out their shoes last night. Now Jay-Z might be your favorite rapper, but he won't give you a huh?
Nah.
No. Different flavors.
But they both important
Oh,
flavors.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's like the difference
One is more
between
important than the other, though.
I don't know. Sodium ain't more important than potassium.
Damn.
One makes you retain water, one makes you excrete water. You gotta have both.
But what about in combination with magnesium?
Hey.
Hey, shit.
See, now we talking some real stuff. We took it to another level. Did y'all know that y'all was gonna get mineral breakdowns?
Science.
All right.
With some
You'll
cognac?
get that at 3 in the morning.
You're getting mineral breakdowns, huh?
Yeah.
What's up, Kenneth? What's happening?
But one thing, though, I do
right, Linda,
dislike,
thank you for tuning in.
though, is the way that they, like, disparage, like, say, a comedian like Kevin Hart. Because, you know, he kind of keeps it,
Storytelling.
you know, he doesn't get as deep as, say, a Chappelle, right? But to me, a Kevin Hart is more important to black comedy than a Chappelle is. Because Kevin Hart embraces other black comedians. He puts them on. He tours with them. He goes to comedy clubs. He does more. He got his Hart Radio. You know, he does more to
Are you doing it?
elevate the careers of
really
up and
does,
coming
bro.
black comedians that Dave
you
Chappelle
that.
They
ever
both
would.
they both
Because
serve a purpose.
I'm gonna tell you something. Dave Chappelle is lightweight a fraud, and I mean that on a
He's
different
referenced
level.
that several.
I mean,
He
that-
thinks I feel you call him a fraud.
Yeah.
What you call a Trojan horse a fraud?
basically. Yeah.
No, that's a war tactic. Dave Chappelle got his position to get in there with white people
Yes.
to say things that niggas need to say. And if he
Yeah,
never
but-
got, and what other nigga could say what Dave Chappelle could say?
Put to you like this. Dave Chappelle reminds me of the black kid that hung out with white kids.
Right, that-
And says certain
So
things.
you know the definition of a Trojan
And
horse.
says certain things, but at the end of the day, his actual viewpoints, his actual, when you really listen to him, really talk, when you really get a feel for him, he's really with them. And he uses his blackness as cover to say things on that flip side that they want to say. He can say things that a Joe Rogan wants to say and dress it up with nigga, and we have come to the point where we accept him. But he's basically a black frat boy. So I get kind of he's a black frat boy who
Shout out
leans
to all the
towards
frat
the right
boys.
wing. So and I don't mean frat boy like Alpha Phi Alpha. I'm talking about frat boy like
I know what you're
he's
talking
with
about.
Chad and all that. I just wanted to clarify. So.
But,
You
but you
know,
feel
so
that
to get him so exalted
on
amongst
the other
black
end
people
of that,
is disappointing to me.
so a comedian that we think is extremely cool. Since we think he cool, he could tell us black women ain't shit, niggas ain't shit. You know how niggas can't read. You know how niggas smoke crack. Because he cool, he could just run us into the fucking ground.
And then go grin with his
And,
white
they
partners
spending
on
the
the
same
podcast.
money.
You know,
They spending the same money. So what we think is cool is somebody
But don't
letting
get
the
me
world
wrong.
know that niggas ain't shit.
but don't get me wrong. That's not. When I say that, I don't say that.
So
as a
who's
knock
rocking
on
the
his-
middle?
I don't say that as a knock on his talent. Talent wise, he's
Oh, yes,
there.
yes,
But I'm saying that the lane that he's actually coming from He's coming from the right-wing white boy perspective, putting the black face on it, and I'm just upset that a lot of us are looking at it superficially, and we're exalting. He up there ranting and raving about cancel culture and all that. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is the cold game that the white boys done ran on y'all.
Culture is
like Cat Williams say, nobody's been canceled who shouldn't have been canceled. But let me tell you something. Back in our days, if you of a certain age, to be woke was a compliment. Because that means that you know what's going on,
right.
you aware. But what happened with woke? White boys started getting called out on their bullshit. And the whole concept of if you work at a job, if you here there, the white boy's supposed to be in charge, you got called out on that. So, of course, white boys began to really push back against woke. They peeped something around 2016 that you could start targeting black males, because unfortunately a lot of black males don't have a problem with white supremacy. They have a problem with their place within white supremacy.
You are absolutely right.
And so thus they saw where they could start targeting a Ice Cube or this and that, and figured that they would be influential towards certain amount of black males. Because people got to remember, with 94% of the black vote going to the Democrats, it's still a nail biter.
So
if they was able to chip into that and knock that down from 94% just to say 89%, the Republicans would be unbeatable, and that's why they've been targeting so many, and that's why they go get the Kanyes, the Ice Cubes, the Dave Chappelles, and get them to kind of lightweight insert right-wing talking points in there, and then when somebody gets offended, oh, look, they're woke, they're trying to cancel me. Basically, all they want you to do is just be civil. You can have your opinions, but you ain't got to call it transgender, fag, you ain't got to call this one that, you ain't got to do,
But everything should be on the table. I can't.
Everybody should be able to be talking
I can't be fat and say, and I could talk about short people all day.
Yeah.
Y'all say something about fat people, I say, oh, people die from diabetes.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I represent the bearded and bellies.
Right.
As comedians, we got a thin line, because I don't think a comedian should ever be censored on what they're saying.
Right.
That's what we were saying earlier.
But if people say, I don't like what dude's saying, I'm not going to pay them. And if you are going to have him in your place, I'm not fucking with you. That's not really cancel culture. It's hijack. That's capitalism.
Okay.
That's the free market.
It's almost the same thing. It's like Ice Cube, one of my favorite rappers, hands down. Mm-hmm. Okay,
extremely talented.
No Vaseline.
I'm from Oakland, California.
Mm-hmm.
When people was attacking MC Hammer, what was MC Hammer supposed to do differently?
Thank you.
In fact, the blueprint, Hammer was just ahead of his
time.
He
got a bunch of East Oakland cats on tour.
What
was he supposed to be doing differently? We say he sold out. So what?
Of rap business.
He was supposed. So MC Hammer was supposed to come and put a pistol in everybody's hand and have him stand on stage.
What was funny about that is there was a movie, and it was based on a radio station, right?
But we let people diss
There
him.
was these two. There was these two characters.
He was just early.
One was Joe Claire, and one was the dude that looks like Mac 10. What's his name? He was a comedian.
Oh, you talking about Big Tig?
Not Big Tig. No, there's another dude. He acts just like Mac 10. But he's a comedian.
Not Shane.
You talking about was he in Paper Hearts?
Freeze Love, I think is his name.
I thought you was talking about.
I know you're talking about. He was in House Party 3.
Yeah.
That's
part three. Yeah, part three.
They had him and Joe Claire on this movie that had Paul Mooney in it, right? They was at this radio station, and Joe Claire was saying like, they started talking about rap, and he said, because the East Coast invented rap. And then partner said, but the West Coast took it to the bank. Mm-hmm. That's why niggas was mad at Hammer, because he took it to the bank and went here.
Yeah, but that's the same thing when people dissing Dave Chappelle, because he might cater to white people. People don't understand. In America, black people we're less than 20%, closer to 15%.
Don't let those statistics.
I saw that. Okay.
We're between 13 and 20.
13 is still, we're not a half, we're not a quarter.
Right.
So whatever, we all understand we're not a quarter. Mm-hmm. So you want Dave Chappelle to cater to 25% when he could cater to 90%?
Well, my thing is, I'm not mad at Dave Chappelle, because Dave is telling his truth up there on stage and getting his money, which is, as an artist, That's what he's supposed to do.
Right.
I'm just mad at sometimes some of our 13% that we sometimes attribute certain things to people that's not true. Like some of these health gurus come along and they straight grifters telling us things that are completely unscientific, but we'll be like, oh, he said this thing is good, this and that. He trying to help the people. No, that nigga trying to line his pocket. So sometimes I see Dave being kind of exalted as this fearless black man, and they trying to cancel him, and like,
But they were.
Yeah, but
really
even in our comments right now, he could read right now, and I can't even see the comments.
I got some.
It's impossible for us
That
to
was
cater
brought
to
up.
100%.
Right.
It's a good percentage of people that say Pharaoh don't know what he talked about, and it's a good percentage to say Tristan's up here all cap.
Yeah, but
Somebody
it's-
here's one of the
you
comments.
can't cater to all of
I'm
us.
gonna ask y'all this question that's in the comment. I want each one of y'all. I want each one of y'all.
Here.
I want each one of y'all to answer this question. Respond to this question. This is from Brother Provost. He said, "Will the alphabet community be successful at canceling Dave Chappelle?"
No.
Each of your thoughts.
No.
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 Fuck no.
But that's not necessarily a good thing for me as a black man to celebrate, because the same wave that Dave Chappelle opens up for people to smash on them, a lot also opens up the doors for other people who speak to the majority to smash on me.
Right.
You know,
And that's what Dave Chappelle said.
I can't celebrate.
Everybody is
I
fair
can't
game.
celebrate Dave them standing on the gay people's neck, because
I ain't
the
saying
way
no,
these
none of
things
that.
go, Nazi Germany, all these things, after they get through with the gays, they come for the blacks or they come for the Jews. So don't never laugh when somebody else is getting smacked around,
Almost
because
said
trust
something.
me, the people that's smacking them people around hate you too.
But I guess they're more powerful now than they ever been. Because remember when Eddie Murphy said the same thing when he was in Raw, and he said they were mad, like I can't go to places like San Francisco.
And everybody loved that shit.
He's an
Everybody
asshole.
cracked up and down. I watch Delirious and Raw 4 times a week on motherfucking VHS
This shit was
at
fun.
my house in the Dubs. Everybody came to my house and we watched Delirious, smoked weed, and drunk cheap liquor. That's what the fuck we did.
Let me speak to something that Tristan said. When you said that how not everybody can get everything, I'm trying to think. She was it might have even been Joan Rivers, but she said that Bill Cosby once told her, if only 2% of society digs what you saying,
That's billions of dollars.
you'll still sell out stadiums.
Yes.
Because he said because she wasn't having much traction, and she said people don't get it. He said, no, everybody got to get it. Like you said, he said, but if 2% of the society says you're funny, you'll sell out.
Yeah.
He said you'll sell out
Seinfeld
stadiums.
might not get
So,
a nickel from guys
your-
from you or people like you.
I know people like me who have never seen the episode.
Seinfeld will never be broke.
Nah, they was getting
He
millions
will
whatever
never
per episode
be
of that
broke.
whack
Him
ass
and, Larry,
show.
him and Larry David have made billions off that show.
And my
There's
grandma
black
wouldn't
people
watch
who've
him. My
never
nephews
seen
wouldn't
it.
watch him. I'm a comic, so I
I've
get
seen
it.
the show.
I didn't wrote a
It
joke.
wasn't my flavor.
But you know that man ain't starving.
Oh no, they remember he made. I remember
I
back
haven't watched
then.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I haven't watched that either. But I remember back in, and this was what, the 90s or whatever. They was all of them was getting down there 1 million an episode.
And that's why the internet that's why they're trying to regulate things, because the internet has really opened up anything.
Right.
The world is just like the Pornhub search engine. If you're into midgets, they have a lane.
I got you.
If you I want a naked bus driver, they have a industry.
And that's why I had to get
And
off
you don't have
Pornhub.
to support it.
Because I found one
You
time
don't have
I
to
did
support
look
it.
up midgets. They had the midgets.
Hey, use it politically
This is a
correct
question
term.
I
Oh,
wanna
they
ask
just
you.
Short.
because they got
people.
this one chick that be on there.
Little
So I heard
You could
they
go-
call her Mini Stallion, and she
You can
about
type
4'9".
in naked pastors, and that's a lane.
Hey, you know what's a good one is if you type in pregnant Ebony's.
Right.
And you'll be surprised. And I'll be like, man, where do you get chicks that are 8 months pregnant willing to do porn? Like
That's why shock value has went through the world. Because we don't want you to agree with me. We
appetite-
want you to be shocked.
I want to ask you a question, being a comic.
Word.
And this was a question that was posed, I think, to Arsenio Hall. We filmed him because Arsenio Hall is a good friend of mine.
He good
I'm
people.
bullshitting, I just know him. But he was asked, about all of these internet comedians, like dudes that's funny on the internet, like they might have a funny bit or a funny skit, but then they're headlining clubs and they've never did comedy before. What do you think about that type of shit?
That's what the internet has done. You know, with some guys that turned into being comedians, they started out with a YouTube channel about lifting weights and taking protein. They got such a following. They're selling out. They got to deal with Live Nation, the twins, and they travel all over.
And they're
They were twins
unfunny.
who lift weights.
Right.
So then it went from we lift weights, then we sample hamburgers from different restaurants, and then they just twins that lift weights that talk, and now they're packing out. They come to Punchline every year all over the world. So that's what that's like me telling you what you can't do.
Brendan
What do
Shaw,
you
who
think
used to
about
get
this
knocked
shit,
out in the
we
UFC.
need a record
now
label full of
sells out.
60-year-olds. You don't want to. I'm 40. I just turned 40. It's certain things I don't want to hear about your catalog and shopping spree. And then the youngsters don't. I want somebody to rap about some old stuff like buying a mattress or buying some insoles or some stool softeners.
I see this one popular
Something that I
rapper.
can relate to.
This one popular rapper took this popular female rapper on $100,000 shopping spree and all that, right? And he got exposed. And one of my young partners was like, "Yeah, but he still hit though." And I'm like, we obviously obviously in different lanes. Because that nigga spent 100 bands to hit. There's no such thing as 100 band pussy. So
Wait. Is it if you was gonna die tomorrow? Would it be 100? Is it 100 band pussy if you was gonna die tomorrow? Like these rappers are dying tomorrow.
only if she let me film it, so that way
Right,
my
but
legacy.
are these rappers dying young?
Yeah.
Are these rappers
They play
dying
that
young?
shit at the
But I'm just
Coliseum
saying,
on your birthday.
a 23-year-old dude was telling me
You heard me?
that he was proud that he hit, and then I thought about it like,
Hey,
damn,
you
I
heard me?
need my ass kicked because I'm listening to
Bro.
the same music as this nigga.
I said, you hit that shit filming, they play that shit at the Coliseum every year on your birthday.
Man, hey, hallelujah.
But how young these kids are dying? Why not fuck off some money?
Hey, you get it now.
Hey, I'm like
Here's
this.
the thing, I'm gonna give
That's
you.
that rock
Are
and
they
roll
getting
right there.
older?
I have
Are
to
they
go
getting
prepare
older?
for the Venus Lounge that comes on at 7 p.m.
Yeah, man, y'all tune in to the Venus
All right,
Lounge.
then, man. It's good meeting you, my brother.
All right, Rock.
I
See it.
You know, one of the funniest things, though, is that a lot of these youngsters do embrace, and that was an old rock and roll adage, live fast,
Die young.
Die
leave a
young.
good-looking corpse.
Hey, Jay-Z said that in one of my
Jim
favorite
Beam,
Jay-Z
yeah.
songs, Allure.
But what's the
He
dude?
said
Jim
James
Morrison then was
Dean.
saying that
James
shit
Dean.
like in the 60s, though. But, yeah, still, it's like, I guess one of the differences is that me and my mom, we didn't listen to the same music. Because of the generation gap.
But you had to
But
listen
me
to
and
that
my
shit
son
Saturday when you was
listen
cleaning
to
up.
the same music. No, I'm just saying, though, is that they was listening to the Temptations, LTD, this and that, and I was listening to Run DMC.
Yeah.
It's given generation. But me and my son both listen to whoever's hot right now. So we don't have the same generation.
I don't know.
gap
I don't
in
know
music.
if that's true because
I can't listen to my
most
son's
music.
music.
See, back when music was simple, you get the Temptations. You know, it's just my imagination. I wish it just would rain. I heard it through the grapevine.
Right.
When the world was simple, they
you-
sung about something simple, and simple hasn't changed.
'Cause you
Your
have-
son had his heart broke. Your son had his heart broke.
You had one nigga
You know what I mean?
sitting there singing his ass off to his chick, and his partner's got his back. They back there.
Well, my heart been bulletproof.
And now
for
we're
20
not
years.
even human. They can sing about a heartbreak. We can't even sing
Dang.
about the homie getting killed.
In fact, that
these
what's that
niggas-
boy Rod Wave? He sung about some heartbreak, and I was like, Rod Wave.
Yeah.
My heart so cold. Yeah, he was. I was like, wow, he
familiar.
youngster putting it
You
out
put
there.
that blues out there.
Yeah, youngster putting it out there. In fact, I went and copped the single on iTunes just to support the
Yeah, I'm
movement.
gonna have to listen to that. I'm familiar.
Yeah.
Rod Wave.
I put my heart on my sleeve. That's
Trust me, if you hear it, you'll be like,
It's some
Yeah,
real
a lot of-
blues. It's some down home blues.
Okay.
In fact, in the last couple years, the only youngsters I've bought has been that T Grizzly and Rod Wave. Other than that, everybody else.
I'm a
is been
Kendrick.
kinda-
I'm a
Well, I don't
Kendrick
consider him a
everything.
youngster because you know he late 30s, you know. But I'm talking about like out of the 20-something type guys that's just kind of breaking out. Because I was on Kendrick back when he was this like Section 80. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though that last album he did, I
See,
like
that-
that love.
what
I
I-
love
what-
a couple joints.
When I
but
say like
I
stuff,
ain't listened to it. I
listening
haven't
to
listened to it
Kendrick
yet.
is like reading the Bible. It's some of that stuff ain't gonna hit you if you try to force the album down your throat in the first
I
week.
try to ride.
Go
with it.
back and lift weights to it. And then you'd be like, dang, he really went into there. And you got to just like appreciating a comic like Carlin and them like that, people that don't give you an easy joke, they gotta put their life on the line for that. Like, I could bomb because this might not be a joke that you get. Like,
But they say walking a
What's up,
tightrope.
Carmelita?
Yeah.
What's up,
Sometimes
Anthony?
you walk on a tightrope with these jokes. But the thing is also it's a lot of it is access. Like for instance, I do Tommy T's a lot, right?
you don't have Rico the Great there coming up soon.
Yeah.
My
But
homie.
when I do Tommy
We
T's,
trying to line him
the
up.
audience that I pull in, if I got deep, I would lose them.
Landlocked.
And a lot of the audience that we play to because sometimes it's kind of hard to get into some of them San Francisco clubs where you can play to a more diverse thinking type audience. So you got to be, you sometimes stuck at a place like Tommy T's and you see cats up there on stage telling fuck jokes and humping the air and all that, and then they bring in some YouTube, some Instagram influencers and have them up there telling some stories, and it's like almost like the game is segregated. Then you see some of these cats get on HBO or something like that, and they get these specials, and you be like, and they be going there, hitting politics, hitting this, hitting that. You get to talk about politics and what's on CNN. Sometimes at a place like Tommy's, the niggas' eyes gonna glaze over while they watching you. You can see you losing.
Well, that's what is difference between TV and doing things live. Most of the times when things are done live, all we are liquor salesmen. If you go to a football game, they're selling beer. If you go to a comedy show, it's a 2-drink minimum. All we do is sell liquor. If we don't sell enough liquor, it will be a bingo hall by next week. You get what I'm saying? We sell liquor for a living. If you go to a karaoke spot, they selling liquor. They're not trying to find a record deal.
Look at Mark Anthony in the comments.
I seen him.
What he talking about?
He said, in fact, I'm hoping some of Rod Wave other friends get locked up so he can sing about it.
Oh, this nigga.
I mean, that's the same mentality.
He be going in. And
Hey, but I used to work with
That's
women.
Uncle Ruckus
that
over
every
there.
time
He be going in.
I used to
He
work
be
with
having me
women
dying.
who every time Mary J. Blige would drop an album, someone says it's really good, and they would want to know, is she happy or she sad?
Right.
Because if it's a happy Mary album, they didn't want it. It's like, oh no, she's sad
They
on
want
this
that.
one.
They want that.
So he want Rod Wave to experience some more heartbreak so he can make some more fire tracks.
And that's why Tupac on the last album was on the cross. Do y'all want him to live longer than 25? He might not rap about the stuff that he rap about.
He'd have been on some other
They
shit.
saying it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here.
I think a
For
lot of
somebody
people-
to say that, they might not live that long.
I think a lot of people who are Tupac fans now, if he would have lived and continued to evolve, I wonder if they'd have still been Tupac fans if because as
He
got
would
older,
he would have
grew.
dispelled some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he definitely would.
But he was having contradictions. He was like, it was
But
like
then that's because he was so young.
he was so young.
You know what I'm saying?
He was so human.
It'd have been nice to have seen a 45.
He said good things about his mama. He said she was on crack.
He told his truth.
Black Queen, the crack fiend, in one line.
He told
No
he
breaks
lived
in
his
between
truth.
it.
Yeah, I wonder though if he would have eventually ran out of gas. You know what I'm saying?
But he was representing a period in time, and y'all dudes,
Young.
I
But
probably
he's
wouldn't.
frozen in that.
Would it
time.
have been okay for me to meet you in '92?
Yep.
No.
I was in '92.
Would it have been
I was-
okay for me to meet you in '92? Would you have been on some bullshit?
I was.
And the thing about it is, even if I wouldn't have been on some bullshit, I was
in high school
surrounded by
with
niggas
some bullshit.
that would have been
I
on
was
some
in
bullshit.
92,
In
I was
fact,
in
if we
high
Was it
school.
okay for me to kick it with
If
you?
we'd have greeted
You
you
was
friendly,
hella young.
Right, but I'm
You
just
was
saying, if
early.
we was the same age, could we have bumped
Yes.
into each other at the castle? and it being good.
No.
In
I put my
92,
quarters
I was
on the
in high
machine,
school,
and you
'cause
respect
in
my
90
quarters.
I was in
because
high
92,
school going
the
to
niggas
frat
I would have been
parties.
with would have been like, "Hey, who's
Yeah,
partner?
right,
Let's get him.
right.
Let's rock." If you'd have had some,
I'm learning that now. I just had a wedding. I was trying to put my new friends with my old friends at the wedding, and that didn't mix. And I was like, "Oh, Trish,
You gotta know
things
how
had
to-
changed."
But let me tell you something.
right.
And he hates when I mention this.
What?
But not too long ago at that bar, at that gas station on Brush, them youngsters
Oh.
tried to rob the off-duty
ex-
cop. They got
yeah.
killed.
Yeah.
I told him I used to live right there, and I and my partners have robbed people at that very same gas
it's
station.
a lick.
But I say that to say is a lot of people, that youngster was 22, he died, and a lot of people made fun of it. That's what you get, this and that, right? And all I can think about is, if somebody was to kill me right now, nobody would make fun of it. They'd be like, oh, it's a goddamn shame. But in 1992, in that era, when I was robbing somebody that got killed, the newspaper would have said, unemployed baby daddy.
Yeah, fuck boy of the year.
Unemployed baby daddy tried to rob somebody and ran the wrong one, and everybody would have been like, he got what he deserved.
Yeah.
So you can't. So you never know what a person could grow into. Because many of us, if we died at 25, if we'd have died at 24, the story would have been written that we was a completely worthless human being.
Exactly to back up your point, there's a meme that I seen some years ago, and it spoke on if certain people died or was canceled in a sense at a certain age. Oprah Winfrey, I believe Oprah was in it. It was Maya Angelou. It was
She'd have died young. She was out there.
It was some influential melanated
I know what
people.
you're talking about. Like if Malcolm X would have died at 20-something, he
would have been Detroit Red.
You know,
and it was just like people progress.
So anytime one of these youngsters or something get killed young or
It's
something
sad.
like that, have some empathy. You can also say
it hurt
you dislike his
it hurt
actions.
me because, like, I'm the baby brother, right? So I could have been in that situation, and I'd be like, okay, if I was 18 and I brought my 15-year-old nephew on a lick with me and he died, how do I show my face back at the family? I don't care if I did 12 years. How do I show my face at the family reunion? I took a naive, that's his nephew who he was trying to drag. He knew he could not go home with him by the way he grabbed him by the hoodie. I have to take him home with me. He dragged his lifeless body by the hoodie. You know damn well you got to bring your nephew home. How your sister gonna look at you.
My thing is
you got to bring him home, dead or not. You got to bring him home.
My thing is this: I had 3 older brothers, and none of them lived to make it to 25.
Jesus,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm the only one of my.
So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm the only one of my mother's kids that made it past 25, and so man, those the things that can happen to you out here, you know what I'm saying, and you can't be on every man for himself. You know, my cousin went to prison because his partner got shot up on a lick, and he was really. Everybody else in the car was like, dump the body, dump him in front of Highland, and he couldn't do that. He still held him to that, and then he got a parole violation, and went away for some time. But everybody else in the car had jumped out, like basically we finna leave this nigga, and he couldn't.
It's the game.
Yeah.
What was that Spice One video?
Trigger got Stone Heart?
No, the Faces of a Dead Man, where the dude was dead in the backseat. Yeah, he did a video on that. But that's the game. I didn't see people take youngsters on a lick with them.
And then come back trying to explain
and when the youngster get killed with a righteous kill, because it's such things as righteous kills. You run into somebody's house and get your head blown off. The mama be like, well, you didn't have to kill him. Your son didn't have to be in the living room.
Right. That's why I always have empathy. Like I'll tell myself, I hate what he was doing. And now that I've evolved as a citizen, but I still feel sadness that he got.
Like Rogan say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
That's true. But
I see both sides of that of this conversation. I agree completely with both sides of it. There is that, yes, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That is because the at the end of the day, first rule of nature is what? Self-preservation.
Yeah.
Amen.
So that's true.
Well, yeah, but that's what they
also to that point, the opposite side of that coin is we all did dumb shit in our lives. I can definitely say that I've been in some situations where I probably could not have been here. If shit would have went a little bit the other way. And it didn't. By the grace of my ancestors. The melanated woman is God.
Yeah, like me. When it come to the street stuff, in every school, every situation, anytime I ever got in trouble, it was for fighting. I don't care any school, anything. It was for fighting. So I fought all the time. I was a dude that was big for my size. So some people would think I was older, but I was so immature, they would fight me. You know what I mean? Because they'd be like, he's big as us. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Must be one of us.
But people know that I will fight. But I'm a square. Because, yeah, that only a town nigga will say that. It's nothing wrong with being a square because you got to earn to be a square sometimes because they try to exploit a square. But the reason why I can't be a straight dude because I'm not vicious. I could beat somebody up, but I can't stand over somebody and stomp on their neck. Mm-hmm. You have to be vicious to be in the streets. I can't lie and say that I'm vicious. I can't lie and say I'm on that level of vicious, but that's what it takes. If you're gonna be in these streets, you got to be vicious. You can't show no mercy or nothing. You have to be vicious.
You have a point, and
it takes a lot to stab somebody to death. It's easier to shoot somebody, but to stab somebody, that's a level of viciousness.
Yeah,
you can't lie. Some niggas can't clean a
That's
fish.
Intense.
Yeah,
that's intense.
So if you're gonna be in these streets, you gotta be vicious.
And to stab
that's your partner, but he fucked up, and everybody could go to jail. He might gotta die.
That's personal.
You gotta be vicious.
That's intense. You have to have some degrees of separation.
I'm not a vicious person, so I'm in my lane.
I had a rap partner. He's no longer with us. And this promoter was playing games. I was co-promoting this event in Berkeley, and the promoter was playing games, and I was supposed to be over there talking about the money. And I said, "Man, this nigga playing, man." I backed up, and my partner said, "Move," and he literally proceeded to beat that boy bloody with the hammer of the pistol. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn. You know,
it's vicious.
I was like, damn. And this cat was really about. He ended up unfortunately getting killed in '96. But it was a case of where I saw the difference between me and him. Because I was finna, man, fuck this punk.
And you couldn't deny it.
You know, and I saw how he got down. So even though we walked on the same streets, we definitely walked them different. Yeah. If the promoter would have reared up at me, then yes. I would have attacked him. Yeah. But he was on some, man, I ain't get, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't find the fuel to attack him. And my partner was like, he just said, move. And moved me right out the way and beat that boy bloody with the
It's a level of viciousness.
And then showed up at dude's next event. Dude he's gone too now, the promoter. He used to throw events with the Black Saturday crowd, all that. He then showed up at dude's next event and took half the door to compensate for that bread. And of course, there was no pushback. It's like, man, I'm here to get paid. Yeah. But we walked the same streets, but he was definitely way more vicious than
where I'm at. If you're soft, you're lost. To stay on course, you must move with force. Yeah. I learned that. Hey, where I'm at, if you're soft, you're lost.
Walk hardcore New York. But you know, but that's the thing, and that's what's so unfortunate to me is that I grew up in one of the last eras of you didn't necessarily have to be a street person, even if you was in the streets.
Well, you had characters. Yeah. We knew who a pimp was. We knew who a player was. We knew who a Mac was. We knew who was a thief. We knew who. You knew your lane. You knew. I might be a player about the situation. I might talk him into killing you. But, I'm gonna be a player about it.
If you go up to UC Berkeley right now or Stanford and you go to the BSU, the kids up there right now are dressed the same as any cat off the turf. Whereas in my era, you could damn near look at the uniform of what somebody was wearing and see what type of time they was on. Now so now you even got kids from stable backgrounds in what's essentially Ivy League schools, dressing like, acting like, talking like niggas who coming from the bottom of the Ville.
Yeah, that was the culture shock of me moving to Sacramento. Coming from East Oakland, the better you dress, the tougher you was. When I moved out there, the dirtier you were, the tougher you was. So if you was nigga wearing Dickies and a Pendleton, you was the tough guy. You come out.
If you was wearing your troop jacket or something like that, you fuck around and you come home jacketless and barefoot.
Yeah,
so
nigga with a clean.
Nice, you had to be able to defend that.
Yeah, so a dude with a nice little polo shirt, dressed like Berkeley cats and North Oakland cats, and even East Oakland. The better dressed you are,
It was cats that used to go up the skyline just to strip somebody for their starter jacket.
Oh man, you remember that?
Wearing not
the early '90s starter jacket.
Eddie Bauer's was everything. You had to know how to fight to wear Eddie Bauer or anything.
Somebody was gonna be like, "Hey, what size is that?" I seen the cat get stripped for his Jawland, which was over on Telegram. I seen the cat get stripped for his Bally's. Like literally, I was literally headed to the car barefoot with his partners, too punked to even jump in for him.
And like I said, I was a big kid. Back in the days, we wasn't even allowed to wear starter jackets in Oakland School District, so we always wore them to church.
Yeah, they showed.
That's the only time you saw somebody in a starter jacket.
After, because in my high school year, we used to
wear
wear all that.
And I caught the bus to school, so you...
But all my stuff gonna get tested.
Yeah,
you definitely gonna get tested.
That was the proof. The bus ride was the proving ground.
In fact, some of the first dress codes was not to restrict what you wear, but basically to protect you.
Yeah, right.
So it was basically to protect.
Schools was like, you can't wear Jordans.
I had a situation.
Cats was getting robbed.
I lived across the street from the Uhuru house.
Yes.
And I said I was
a member in '89.
I said I was a big kid for my size. I was wearing size 40 jeans in 5th grade. So the cats from the red fence would give me all they hand-me-downs because I could fit it. The Uhuru house and the red fence is the same wall. You know what I'm saying? So I had some older people's stuff, but was I gonna get on bus 57 with it and see how it go? You know what I mean?
They kicked me out the Uhuru house.
I used to go and get on their computers before.
No, they kicked me out because there was. You might remember this incident in East Palo Alto. There was a lady that put up a neighborhood watch sign.
Yes, in '91,
and niggas shot it.
Yes,
and the bullet
they did unsolved mysteries about that.
So
she stayed. Yeah, it was.
I'm about to Google that.
They said the
off
Uhuru
Alberni. I remember. Yeah.
So the Uhuru house was like, oh, she got what she deserved. And I was like, and I said, whoa,
that's not okay.
And they said, well, she was the police. I'm like, she wasn't the police. She said, well, she was by putting neighborhood watch sign up, she was supporting the police. So anything that happened to her,
that's not okay.
And I said, y'all niggas sound crazy. And they said, and then they told me that because I didn't agree with the old lady getting shot for putting the neighborhood watch sign up, that I was also a police supporter and to get the fuck out their building.
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, when you get older,
I was the only one who
was
actually
a tumultuous time back in.
Yeah, it was a hard time.
Out of all the niggas that was sitting there talking, I was the only one who had ever actually been in.
But that was the same time where the black girl was getting shot for stealing the juice. You know, a lot of people don't know that's what started the LA riots. They think it was Rodney King. No, when that black girl, and that's when everybody started putting the black on thing on their window.
They got a documentary out about her too.
Yeah. I know some people still think that has something to do with Rodney King. No, that has something to do with that.
And people be like, I see on the right wingers be like, oh, the Koreans were so brave protecting their stores. I'm like, man, I wish niggas would have burnt all that shit down. Because just like, unlike L.A., unlike here we have Arab store owners. In L.A., the Koreans own the majority of the stores in the hood, and they way more vicious. Because see, some of the Arab store owners here try to assimilate. You'll see they got gold teeth, what's up, man, whoopty whoop. Yeah. The Koreans never assimilate.
They like,
it's
nigga,
always
you here to buy, that's it.
Exactly.
I'm not your friend. Hostility. I'm the motherfucker.
You ever went on iHeart, whatever streaming services, and listened to Straight Up Menace?
Yeah. By MCA.
By MCA. He going to the corner store owned by they bleep that part out. When he say by the Japs or he say by the Rabs or something like that. Now he's saying nigga throughout the whole song. But he can't even say who owns the store.
Because that shows you who owns the right for you to hear.
He could say nigga through the whole song.
That's what I'm saying. That just shows you the importance of who owns the right for you to hear.
The nigga might say nigga 30 times on the song. He can't say off to the corner store owned by the bleep.
I can stand in front of the White House and say nigga 5 million times in a row without losing a breath, and it will play on every radio station, everything. The first time I say boop or boop or boop, because I'm smart, you know what I'm saying? I'm smarter than the average nigga. You will not hear from me.
Yeah.
Well, the original version of California Love, when
Yes.
Pac says the bro won't bow down to no man,
Uh-huh.
it was actually the bro won't bow down to. It was something about bow down to a Jew, and it was a shot at Ruthless because Eazy-E and them was bowing to Jerry Heller. Interscope made him change that, and so it changed to the bro won't bow down to no man. But that original line was supposed
You
to be
look
about
at-
Jews, and it's a subliminal shot
To-
at
at
Ruthless
Ruthless.
and Jerry Heller.
Because once again, you look at, here's the thing, and that goes into line with the cancel culture. You motherfuckers. To our earlier conversation
White
about
House
the
say,
freedom
"Hurry
of
up and
speech.
buy."
Exactly, White House, my guy. When the people who you can't talk about,
Yeah.
that's who run shit.
Yeah. That's who paid.
I listen, and this is to TV shows, music, everything. We can have black people, sisters, brothers, talking about bitches and hoes. They got
Till the
pussy,
sun come home.
pussy that's just got niggas
Yeah.
selling their soul, doing everything. I can just disqualify myself from being a proper human on every level in songs, but as soon as I say something about these other motherfuckers,
Yeah, Ice-T could say they destroyed all his CDs when he made Cop Killer and 187 on the Undercover Cop. They ran over all Snoop Dogg's CDs. But they could rap about killing black pedestrians all day.
all
It's
day.
celebrated. It's funny.
It's
We
good.
ain't got no weapon. I could go kill my neighbor.
Long as I'm talking about, nigga, I got a problem. I don't like your camouflage hat, nigga. I'm making a song next week. Fuck all niggas wearing camouflage hats. That shit will go quadruple platinum. But soon as I make a song about the other people that wear them camouflage hats, my page is banned.
Yeah.
I'm shadow banned and the algorithm don't work for me.
Yeah. Black people rights 400 years. The Asian hate crime was 40 minutes, and
I
they
can talk
fixed
about
that.
you all day.
Man, they was ready to pass laws. and
They
everything.
fixed that in 40 minutes. Before you can make a baked
Hey, give
potato,
the
that
cats
was
hate,
over.
Hate crime enhancements, the whole nine.
Oh, here go one. Oh, I got it. Oh, hold on. Here go a comment. Let me pull it all the way up. Because there's Ant said, what's our opinion about the Asian movement about blacks being anti-Asian reaching the Bay Area? I got a lot to say about that. And before I even go there, I have hella Asian family
Yes, Jesus.
partners from elementary school that we tighten this to this day. I don't subscribe to hate. Only thing I hate is a motherfucker that hate me.
Right.
I don't even hate you. I just wish you got some business about yourself. I don't hate anybody. But what I do not like is the continual, because there's a group, and don't get me wrong, there's stupid people in every race. And when I say stupid, I don't just mean smart, as far as I can do a math problem smart. I mean, there's people who make dumbass decisions in every race. But the problem, and what happens is you have certain groups who make a spotlight of, oh, it's the black versus Asians thing. It's the blacks doing this to this. But don't get me wrong. It does happen. True. There's crime committed against every race by every race. So put the shit out there like it really is. To overly target niggas, because that's what a lot of y'all do. Let's keep it let's keep it a buck. That's what a lot of y'all do on y'all platforms. A lot of motherfuckers, even though I'm 100% with the freedom of speech and all this, but there is that nigga in the back of my medulla that says some of you niggas, and when I say niggas, I'm not just talking about black people. Some of you niggas shouldn't have internet.
Right. You know, the internet is an easy way for people to be racist.
Yes.
I don't have to say nigga. I could just get on TikTok and take the voice of somebody saying niggas ain't shit, and now it's a TikTok video. I didn't say it. I was just reading along with the TikTok video.
I make to the point of.
So now you got a white girl with Cat Williams' voice.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, saying
exactly.
niggas. Now she's with her face, with Cat Williams' voice, putting down niggas.
Yeah, because that's the gift and the curse of social media. And to his point, to your point, Ant, there's a few platforms, and like I said, I hate that crime and against any race. Older people, I don't care if it's the crime against older Asians, against older white people, against older black people, or older Latin people. Man, let people live. I completely and 100% think that people should be able to live their life and enjoy the fruits of their labor. You gotta go out and rob somebody, strong arm motherfuckers to do shit. That's some hoe ass shit.
Huh?
And I understand.
I can't be racist because I'm just too aware of reality. I have never in my life been to a funeral for somebody who been hurt by a white person. Any funeral I have ever went to, a black person put that person there.
I have.
I don't even the people I visited in jail was hurting other black people.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, I don't worry about how other people treat us. I when I talk to y'all, I hope I come with the utmost respect.
It's all good.
Whenever y'all see me in the streets, I hope I say God instead of dog. You know what I mean?
But
I hope respect comes in the room before I come in the room.
But there's a context for that, though. As long as because sometimes people will say something similar to that and then start talking about black on black crime. All crime is pretty much
the same
in racial. 90% of white people is killed by the white people. 90% of black people. 90%. So us being in the black community, especially since we don't be exposed to that, I'm in the same situation. Pretty much everybody I've ever known who was murdered, and I went to the funeral. Of course, it was another black person, but that's because we within are that. And I'm pretty sure I've never been to a white person's funeral before. But most white people that have been murdered are murdered by other white people. So so you kill.
It's a play.
Now there might be a higher ratio of killing because there's so many of us have been infused with like a self-hatred kind of thing, kind of a anger thing. Like Nipsey Hussle one time was talking about how they'll go on a mission, right? And they'll look
for somebody that look like them.
Exactly. He said if he don't look like us, we would leave him alone. And he said then we realized that you saw that.
You out there looking for yourself.
Exactly, and that's the
touche.
And that's the
that's real shit.
Of self-hatred. And due to we
Who
might have a higher degree
yourself?
of self-hatred, we have maybe a higher murder rate.
One time I went on tour, me and Mike Sinclair, we went on tour. We did a show in Idaho Falls and Billings, Montana.
Oh.
So you a star just for being black in those places. If you're not from the Army base or something like that. I'm talking about the place was packed from wall to wall. We only been doing comedy 3 years at this time. Packed. And they were all standing up just like, these are niggas coming to see us. And they really dope show. Like on tour, we kicked it with some white chicks. In the morning, in the morning, the white chicks took us to breakfast. We was gonna be driving all day, so she had her cell phone, she had her Facebook, and I just looked at her Facebook, and I went through the wall, and I was like, this is how white people talk to each other. It's not niggas be like, niggas ain't shit. Don't fuck a Capricorn. They make the worst baby daddies. This is that. Like her Facebook wasn't so Imagine if, imagine us getting on Facebook and all our friends was like, what's his name? Ray, the dude. He all our Facebook friends. He always say happy birthday to everybody the day before. Earl Ray. Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to. I don't know.
What about the emotions dude? Control your emotions. Was
EI?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What if all of our Facebook friends was like
emotional intelligence?
Emotional intelligence.
DB.
Yeah.
Shout out to DB.
Imagine if all of them was like DB.
Mm-hmm.
Saying positive stuff.
Never worry.
Never worry. What if all our Facebook friends was like, never worry, be positive.
Whiteout said J.R. Ewing.
Yeah, J.R. Ewing. Yeah. What if those two was our only Facebook friends? That's the only two people we can ever see is J.R. Ewing.
Right.
This world would be a better place if those was the only people allowed on Facebook.
I'm gonna tell you something. Speaking of DB,
yeah,
and that's the homie. I'll talk to y'all off camera about this, but I was in a situation recently, and I've always been like, I gotta, because you have to represent. There's that mantra to us as black men in public in different situations, to where I can't be a nigga, but I can't not be a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say nigga, I mean Nubian, intelligent, God-gifted African.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get that shit at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, Nubian, intelligent, God-given African.
You know what I'm saying? I can't be a nigga, a goofy, but I gotta be a nigga. Nubian, intelligent, God-gifted African. And I can be like, I was in a situation to where it was a pilgrim, because that's what I call them. Always have, always will. Y'all didn't know me, y'all already know.
Colonizer.
He was on some bullshit, and his microaggressive talk of the culture with us about a person of melanated descent in this group I was in was just overbearing. And I'm dealing with this shit as the only black person, melanated person. I don't identify as black. I'm not a color. So y'all will get that at 3 in the morning too. You niggas that keep saying you black, yeah, you niggas keep catching the short bus. But anyway, that's another story. But just allowing myself to keep hearing this shit, and I'm telling you, you brought up DB. DB kept coming up in my mind. His talks about emotional intelligence. And I'm like, I can't be the angry black guy in this situation I'm in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't. Mm-hmm. I couldn't afford to be the angry black guy. Because it wouldn't have been good.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a lot. And I mean, I expressed and I got on this motherfucker's helmet in ways to where I broke this motherfucker down like a sack with a swisher in the 767 days. And for you people that don't know what 767 means, that means 2 motherfuckers have $7, 1 motherfucker have $6, and the other dollar is the one he get the 2 swishers.
Mm-hmm.
That equals 20. You'll get that. Yeah, I broke it down to you. You ain't got to get that at 3 in the morning. I just gave it to you for free. But I was so irritated by his microaggression and racism shit, and just you know, because I couldn't be the nigga. And I'm like, man, I want to punch this motherfucker. But I'm just like, I'm the situation I'm in, I can't. I got to represent us. But I got to come back to his bullshit with intelligence and unbotheredness. And at the same time, I got to make you feel like your mama should have swallowed. Mm-hmm. And I'm be honest with you, I flashed on him 2 days intelligently. The 3rd day, this motherfucker was apologizing and to the whole group and everything, and I just sat back like,
yeah. Sometimes
I could easily slit your throat, punch you, and I can be, you already know my figures.
Yeah,
I could have ruined all that shit.
A great East Oakland gentleman once said, even though some people show you no respect, be intelligent when you put them in check. Because if you're ignorant, you get treated that way. And when they throw you in jail, you got nothing to say.
Hey, that's
the most important East Oakland quote ever.
Bars personified.
You be sitting in jail running your mouth while me and my niggas trying to get out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dangerous Dame,
the writer of that song.
Yeah.
Shout out to my niggas in the hood. What's up, Cuzzo? Just
that is the key.
We gotta get you back on there again, Cuzzo.
That's all that ever mattered my whole adult life is that line right there. You don't always have to match ignorance.
Right. And
it feels
it's
being fleshly, like they say at church.
Yeah.
It's being fleshly. It's being
like,
carnal.
I want to just stand over you, or I'm gonna just say this, and I mean this all in the fictional form of what I'm finna say.
If you offend me,
Mark
I'm
Anthony
lifting you
pretty
10
much.
feet. In
Thank
the
you.
air, I don't care.
Hey, Eminem, that's one of the. That's my favorite anger song.
Oh!
That is my favorite anger
If you
song.
offend me, I'm lifting you 10 feet.
You ever feel that you ever want to take somebody to the brink? And I got, once again, let me get the disclaimer again, because I'm not a violent person. I'm cool with everybody. It's just love and peace and everything. But I'm just saying, sometimes people take you to where you want to just take them to the brink of death with a hand breath, to where, and then you slap them back to life and be like, see what I'm talking about?
Stop doing that dumb shit.
What did he say? What did he say? If I ain't cold and heartless, niggas would start shit. Excuse me, this is where we park, bitch. You gotta. It's those songs.
Yes.
That's the. If you didn't
I
feel
write
that,
shit.
if you didn't
That's
feel
the-
that,
You ain't
That's
real.
the shit I write.
that's Tupac Shakur for those that don't know.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like sometimes you just gotta go hard because people will push you, and it's like I don't want to walk around giving everybody the warning bark.
I don't wanna
But
be-
I'll be
I never
cold hearted
wanna be
if
the
I just
angry
start
black
taking
guy.
niggas' heads off.
I don't want to be the angry black guy, but at the same time,
I don't
I'm
wanna
never
get
gonna
pushed
be
around.
your
I know
bitch.
cats that walk this earth like you should have knew. You should already knew. I'm not punching you for no reason. I'm punching you for something your daddy didn't teach you. Your big homies didn't teach you.
I know
You should have known
motherfuckers
before
that
you
rock
came
Up that
across
tree,
me.
That tree will fall over.
Right. If you don't know by now, then you slipping.
Right. It's like I know motherfuckers that went down for the dirt nap for less. So.
Right. I know some cats that ain't gonna warn you. You shouldn't have came around here if you didn't learn that level of respect.
Yeah, it's like, man, I'm cool. Just chill. And we had that conversation. And the whole group, because it was, like I said, I tell y'all this shit off camera. Because it's fresh.
I feel like I need to even this out a little bit.
Come on. Okay, we got,
Yeah, she need to
Renee
balance
from
out
the
our
Venus
toxic
Lounge.
masculinity.
Talia,
Don't act like I don't got no girl quotes.
Oh, I don't think
No
mas-
woman
What's
quotes.
Talia?
I don't think
What's
masculinity
Talia?
is toxic.
She
First
coming
of
too?
all, I don't think it's toxic. Masculinity is
Talia coming
is
too?
not toxic. It's bitchy. Is the
Talia coming too? Is both of y'all?
no,
I
she's
mean-
not here. She didn't come.
So
Oh,
you
she the
can't
show?
get- did you
Oh,
get
that's some shit.
characteristics
Hey, y'all,
of the
welcome.
males?
Welcome Renee to the show.
I just think they're
She's
not
the host.
defined. If
She's the host of
it's
the
an
Venus
oxymoron.
Lounge.
To me, masculinity doesn't. It's not like. I feel like if a man is masculine, and divinely masculine, there's nothing toxic about that.
Right.
However,
Me and her
in
agree
our
on a
Amer-
whole lot.
In our American
Damn, I gotta reach
culture,
down and refill. You on the?
in our American
You on that.
culture, in our
can
American
mix.
culture, some
good?
attributes
I'm
that are
good.
not
Okay.
necessarily masculine are attributed to it, like being an asshole, lack of empathy, being over
I have empathy,
aggressive.
I'm an asshole.
No, I'm just saying, but there's
I'm a
certain
narcissist
attributes
with a
that-
heart. I'll
There's
tell
certain
you
people
off
that
top.
walk in, they're assholes, this and that. In our American culture, we've been like, oh. We've attributed that to masculinity,
But
and so
women-
thus,
so
but
women
those
can-
are not masculine traits, because if I'm truly a man, I don't have to be an asshole.
Well,
to
that's
you.
what I'm saying.
I don't
Yes.
have to be aggressive.
But
towards you.
Not
but
everyone-
don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
Can I say something? Because
Yes,
this
you
could
may.
be toxic right here.
Speak it.
This moment right here.
No, speak it, sis. I got you.
That everybody could be an asshole.
And that's
It's equal
yes.
opportunity asshole.
No, but I'm not saying.
Thank
What
you.
I'm saying though is that there's some people who are like our dear former president. There's some people
Dear
who
former, who you
women-
fucking talking
I
about?
didn't say dear. You
Yeah.
got
I'm,
Who
I'm
the
being,
fuck you
I'm
talking
being
about?
funny, but let's
Ain't
not.
none of them
hey,
motherfuckers
hold
dear
on,
to
hold on.
me.
Let's not miss the forest
I'm
because of
gonna
the
have a
trees.
None of
Let's
them
not
niggas.
miss the forest because of
The
the
point of
trees.
what I'm
None of
saying is
them
that there
niggas
was some
is
people
dear
who,
to me.
there were some people who attributed certain levels of masculinity to him that they were actually traits of a weak man.
Yeah. That's,
And there's
that's
a lot.
The point.
So now in our modern society, there's traits that have always been traditionally looked at as that's kind of a bitchy, weak, passive aggressive man. And now people are calling that masculinity. Then they turn around and say,
Right.
"Oh, that's toxic masculinity." But
you
true
have to-
masculinity is not
You
toxic.
have to look at who created this term too. It was not
Right.
a black man.
Right.
Right.
First and foremost, so anybody who's looking at that and say that's toxic is a bitch ass nigga in the first
Man,
place.
that's
And
what we call
anybody
them.
could be a nigga. I'm just not talking
All right,
about
we've already
But
discussed
it's
that.
not toxic. If a man is going to, you know, open the door when you and like I'm walking outside, you're making sure
already
I
know.
get to my car safely.
Always.
That's masculine energy to me. I'm gonna make sure you get out there
That's
safely.
protect-
it's a man
That's what
being
we do. That's a
patriarchal,
man
acting
being a
like
man.
You don't have the ability to open your own door.
No,
That's just a man being a man.
But see, as an alpha female,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not.
are.
That doesn't bother me because I'm not intimidated by a man offering to open the door because I know that I can do it for myself. So I don't have to put him down or make him feel less than that he's opening
You ain't
the
got to clip
door
his
for
balls
me.
because he
Exactly.
being a man.
I can appreciate that.
To the point of that, I've had conversations. This is years ago, to where I remember having conversations even about opening the door for a woman or just saying something in general. My response when they looked in or responded, where I will say my interpretation of their response was like, "What are you doing?" And my quick words was, "Why don't you just let a man be a man?"
Right.
And that's really what it is. Just a man being a man. Not a boy, not a fuck boy, nothing. It's a man let a man be a man.
Yeah,
And it was a time that we loved and appreciate everything about our common woman.
Yes.
We used to want a woman with extensions in her ear. You know, bamboo earrings, at least two pair.
Yeah.
A Fendi bag.
Huh? What?
No,
Hello? Huh?
Now, what exactly is a fuck boy?
oh.
I wouldn't know.
Well, I guess with the internet, what I ascertained, what my homeboy CT say, a fuck boy is a guy that be cheating on his girl. He ain't got nothing to do all day but cheat on his girl.
Or just,
So, a
a
fuck
guy
boy.
that just only thing he can offer is sex.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
I can listen to that. Like I'm gonna tell y'all this. So hold on. Damn, here's a comment. Hold on.
We need that comment.
Ant said, "I've declined to walk escorts to the car." Here you go with his shit.
Yeah.
I've declined to walk escorts to the car, and they've been robbed outside because of it.
But see,
That's true.
Why you gotta get an escort?
That's true.
That's Ant.
Finish the rest of it.
No, hold on, because there's more. I gotta hold on. Coincidentally, the robber has looked me every time. Has liked me every time.
Has looked like me every time.
Look like me every time. Free service, you motherfucker. Ant be on some shit, but never mind.
There's some older men though who say though that it's very alpha to have escorts.
Yeah.
I disagree, but
At this age,
cool.
I just got married, so
congratulations.
I just got married.
most
Yeah.
relationships.
Hey,
But at this age, at this point in my life,
14 years for me next month.
I rather pay somebody than do all the womanizing, making a woman think I'm gonna be there and all that other stuff. When I got when I got too much to lose, I got too much to lose to be walking in the bar, getting to know a woman. And all her problems. Y'all worried about what could get on your penis. What could get in your
I'm
world?
married
No, what I
14
think-
years. How
I
long have
think-
you been married?
25. I think the men get the fantasy confused.
Mm-hmm.
The women know. There are women who do this. There are business women who are sex workers and
The girlfriend experience.
go to college and have lives and know and understand that. I think it's
Men
the
are
men
simple.
that get confused
Right.
and think
But
that
isn't that exploited?
they can engage. How is it exploitive? If two adults are saying, "You're going to give me this, and I'm giving you this,"
Yeah,
exchange,
I wouldn't
men,
disrespect.
exchange
men
and a
get
robbery.
messed up in the head because then if they're not feeling like they have control over the situation, then they start feeling simpish. Like, oh, this woman is really I'm paying her to sleep with her and she's not falling in love with me and she's not wanting
The
me.
ego.
The ego gets in. So
I can
that's a
respect
double
that.
whammy for the brothers. So
I
they
can
don't really
understand
want
that.
to
I
engage
respect
in a
that.
relationship that's equal in terms of I'm paying this woman for sex, she's giving me this, she goes her way and her go. There's an element in there where their ego gets in there, or they want to wife her and have her be her man and get confused. Like the Japanese geisha in the relationship, the men understand that it's a fantasy.
True.
And they go to the geishas and they do all these things. Sometimes they even have sex, and then they go home to their wives and they go and do their things. These brothers out here
Don't have
want to
it.
marry the strippers, they want to marry the escorts, and then expect her to change her lifestyle and everything because either he got caught up or he wants to control her.
Exactly.
And this is where I think it gets fucked up.
Now, in the geisha culture, are the wives aware that their husbands participate
Right.
in this?
And hold on, Miss Jenkins said...
That's a separate thing.
Right.
I'm only talking
Ain't
about...
nobody got a Christmas geisha.
Yeah, all I'm talking about is what
Merry
the
Christmas.
role is in the fantasy
I
of
love
sex
this conversation.
workers
How the
and
conversation
sex
just be
exchange.
free-flowing.
That women are... There
we
are
do.
some women who are very empowered businessmen and women, and they can understand the transactional aspect of the sex worker exchange.
Transactional. Damn, I like that word.
Yeah, and
I
the men,
like
the men
transactional,
don't.
but I
The
hear
men
you.
get caught up.
What she's saying is 100%
No,
right.
she's right.
You're right. And the thing about it is, if
I'm
you
not
keep
arguing
it
that.
And then you
business,
add in the pimp hole, the pimp
Yeah.
mentality,
I think-
and they want to slap a bitch up and all.
I'm with
that's
that.
some,
I ain't,
like,
I'm
other
not.
shit.
Nah, if you
Yeah.
gotta
That's where it
harm a
gets
female,
fucked up.
do all
yeah, we
that,
put a
That's
negative
what-
name
but
like
that's what
escorts,
chicks
and it's a geisha.
No.
It's like having
that's
an
the
Uber
world.
driver.
It always.
It's
has.
like I don't know if y'all ever drove Uber before.
Nah.
Okay, well, if you ever drove Uber before,
drives me.
especially when it first came out, people
actually,
was like,
no.
"Hey, can I get your real phone number and I just call you all the time and you'll
see
be
what
my
I'm
person?"
saying?
No, just go through the app.
Stay
The app
through
is
the book.
the app is perfect.
But
Just
that's
go in
black
and get the
people do
nearest.
that. That's
Right.
black people stuff. Black people will be like, "Can I just like I'll have some stuff on Airbnb." They be like, "Can I hit you?" I'm like, "No, this is a
Go
business
through
thing.
the app.
Pay your fee." But
Yeah, but I
think
just
we
want
just
you.
get real familiar.
I think.
We get
Right.
familiar.
We
I
cross
think
boundaries.
ego, like you said, ego with men. Because here's the thing, and this is just being honest. The male ego is very fragile, all encompassing. I'm not saying every man. I'm just saying as a whole. You look at it.
We made in God's image.
Yeah, the male ego is fragile on a lot of things. And what was I finna say?
God's image.
The male ego is fragile, but it doesn't matter because when it comes to the sex working thing,
My
I think
job
it's
as a
you
man-
guys that get fucked up with.
My job as a man,
I think it's you guys that make it fucked up.
I can only speak
for
for
the
me.
women.
How did
My
you
job as a
And also
man,
the mind.
my job as a man, then I can only speak for me. I can't speak for the billions of men in the world. Sexually, my job is to ring the bell as many times as I can. That's my job. My ringing of my own bell comes second to, because that's my ego.
No, there's women that like their bells rung too.
I'm saying. Me ringing her bell. That's my job. That's my
I'm on
personal
Lynch
thing.
status. I'm only here so I won't get fined.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have no problem with telling them, if
Nothing
you want all
wrong
that
with
great,
that.
exciting sex, you better go get you a boyfriend. I'm
Nothing
middle-aged and overweight, not in shape. You fuck with me because you love me. Not because of how I
Absolutely.
perform.
No, absolutely. There's.
I get that.
But if you want
Nothing
all that
wrong with
performance, then you need to go take a girls trip to Jamaica every
first
summer
of all,
with your
all
friends.
that high performance shit, that's porn.
Overrated.
Don't nobody be
Because we
doing
hypersexual.
all of that.
Because we're hypersexual.
And everyone knows the best fuck is a mind fuck. You don't
Thank
have
you.
to be doing.
Now that I'm excellent
Thank
at.
And I happen to be a comedian.
I'm
Thank
excellent
you.
at it.
You don't have to be doing
gonna-
all the acrobatics
little
and
shit.
gymnastics. Don't nobody really want like.
I wanna know what's on
personally,
your
I'll be
mind.
like,
Thank
okay,
you.
you know what?
I can read your mind. Yvonne, that song
about
is
to
the shit.
Break my back up in
R.
here.
Kelly, let me be your freak tonight. That shit.
And
I'm
that's
into
why
it.
women stroke our. That's how they fuck our mind.
Yeah.
Women fuck our mind by making us think we're smarter than what we are.
Yeah.
If you really want to make your man happy, you'll go, "Wow, you was playing Mario Brothers and you got an extra man. How did you do that?"
Yeah. Me, like, I'm married. But if I was single, I tell him, it's not a lot. You want to fuck with me? Let me know you want to fuck with me. Just being honest. That ain't hard.
If they fuck with me, they fuck with me. 'cause
Everything
I'm
y'all talking about.
Don't let me think that you want to fuck with me
What
because
was the original question? I feel.
I don't know.
Well,
even
we
remember.
digress, but everything y'all explaining right now is the definition
It's
of
the point.
comedy.
Oh, we're talking about toxic masculinity.
Oh yeah, that's what we was. We
and
went
what the
to
definition
y'all took it to
was
yeah.
of toxic masculinity, and I feel like it's taken the black man as the model of masculinity
Mhm.
and flipped it and tried to make it as something negative.
Mhm.
And as somebody who's intimidated by the black man's masculinity, and now everyone is just jumping and riding on the turn.
This nigga.
How do you
Anthony,
feel online?
I'm not finna comment.
Now, a lot
I'm
of
not
this
finna
is
comment,
online,
comment,
but
What did he say?
some people might
Come
say
on.
that the feminists are
It's
the ones,
toxic femininity.
They
too.
making us
But they're
weak.
talking about the toxic masculinity. But they're using
they want to
black
clip our
women.
balls off and put them in their
Yeah.
cages.
I'm still on my Eugene.
to be
I'm
the foot
Tarzan.
soldiers in
Yeah.
the war against black men.
Absolutely.
We can
and
both
that's
rule
what
an empire.
And that's why I say, if she's a, it's different between feminist and feminine. If she's a divine feminine black woman and she's in touch with her femininity, she knows her power. Men have power, but women have influence.
Yes.
And we know a lot of times if we lean more into that, you can get this man to do whatever you want, first and foremost. Second of all, we are taking on, because we are making as much money, if not more, than black men, and that's by design also. Black women are now starting to think that we don't need men.
The power shift.
Because the power shifts have happened, and so we're starting to be disrespectful to black men because we think that we're making more money than them. We don't need them, and I can raise a family by myself, and this is all by design. And so now we are taking, now the toxic masculinity is wide open for that to drop in. And a lot of these women who do make money, whatever, are single. They either they're single parents and they're looking at men as an equal, just in terms of
fuck toys.
But these are the men they're picking.
Fuck toys.
Because the men who are the type that are going to take care of everything, you have to submit. And submit doesn't mean obey. It just means you have to lean back a little bit and let him be the man. And so women, I think,
you can be the boss and still let him be.
We're always running things, and this is what we need to know.
You get more bees with honey than vinegar.
Okay, let me drop some East Oakland game, and let's see if you will agree. This is some game, and hey, this is for everybody out there in TV world. It's easier to convince a woman that you're amazing than it is to convince her that she's pretty. Do you agree?
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of general. What do you mean by that? Expand.
Sometimes a lot of guys will go after the ugly girl because they think it's going to be easier. But when a woman already thinks she's pretty,
school, junior high,
it's hard to convince a woman that she's pretty.
Women are attracted to confidence.
Right.
We're not as into
so
looks.
That's what I just said.
We're not as into looks as maybe men.
It's easier to convince you that I'm amazing than you are pretty. Because
consistency is key.
I think confidence is key for women. Because
I'm saying
women we're like, if you are confident and you have game, like if you
you know how to dot your I's and cross your T's.
Women are not attracted to weakness.
No, they're not. But women will use the weakness of a man to wring his ass out to dry.
Absolutely.
Hang him out like some
fucking
fucking laundry.
But that's only if she's weak too.
Yeah.
Now,
you're right.
But how does a woman perceive if a man is confident? Because some women I've seen absolute clowns with the shades on, talking loud, burst into the room, and they all be like that, and the actual boss nigga is standing to the side like,
just that's how it cancels it out. That she's, you get matched this divine, what is it, the natural selection. So like you're gonna be attracted to whoever is on your level. So women are on those levels too. They're women. Right. That's what that's
you
the
attract
point
your
that
tribe.
I'm making. Some women aren't divine.
They're fuck girls just as well as they're fuck boys.
Yeah. But because black women are the number one in the country, fastest growing entrepreneurs, college graduates, hold multiple degrees, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's kind of going to our head a little bit, and we think that now we have to sort of level up in a way, and the pool is smaller because we're looking for someone who's equally yoked, and it's not about that. It's someone who's going to come into the relationship, match your level of commitment to happiness for themselves and for each other, who want to have a family. A lot of these women too don't want to have children, and men want if they love you and they want to be with you and take care of you, they're gonna want children.
Niggas gonna nut in you whether they want kids or not.
See,
that was cruel.
I was just being honest.
That's true.
I was just being honest. I understand what you're saying,
and
but I'm just being honest.
Some women confuse that
with love.
Yes, and
if you take your socks off when you having sex with her, that's love.
No, so. I don't know nothing about that, but I do know women think if a man hits it without a condom, that means he loves you.
No, that just means he wants to
That
feel
just he
means he's
wants to
reckless.
feel the warmness
of the womb,
the womb.
nectar of the
And
gods.
and he wants the Stargate. But it does not mean
you.
that he
My
is in love
starship
with you. And that's reckless sex. Is women are confused. And
Hey,
me
and
ask you a
don't.
question.
I just don't want to get a woman's life on
Hold on,
me.
let me ask you a question, Renee. How do you feel when we've
Sex
all
magic.
seen that meme where it's like, hey sis, how you gonna have a master's degree getting played by
A
a high
nigga
school
would-
dropout
a
or
nigga
8th
that-
grade?
why is she picking
Nigga
a
that's
high
still
school
on
dropout?
fries.
Why are you picking these
Well,
type of
let me
niggas?
go back to your
Because
point.
it's life
You saying that
choices
a lot of
and
these
the
women are now
environment she was
saying
brought up in.
They have these degrees, they have these things going on, and they want to be equally yoked. Whereas I've seen in my experience that
But equally yoked doesn't always mean financial. That's what I'm saying.
And it don't
True.
always
But
mean
right.
education
But I'm
either.
saying, though, what I've seen in this anecdotal,
And it don't
but
mean
what
education
I've seen is
either.
like in my own family, a lot of the women who are educated, who are go-getters, they all seem to be matched with individuals. Yeah, nigga, I'm talking about you. You can't with me. They all seem to be matched with individuals who are, at best, can be described as lackluster.
So what's your question?
Lacking ambition. Like how when you say a lot of black women, it's a problem now because a lot of black women are demanding to be equally yoked, but so many
They
of
don't.
them have been dealing with men where they were unequally yoked and they've had nothing but unhappiness
They
and
don't.
misery.
And they settle.
They don't.
Yes. So they have. When they
familiar
are with
pain.
men who equally yoked, it's because like I said, because women who are financially independent, and I'm talking strictly financial,
Strictly.
don't
Shout out to my
want
strong,
to
independent women.
feel like they can be vulnerable or submissive to men.
Right.
And that's
Because money
the
is
problem.
power.
Exactly. And it's a fake power when it comes
I
to
was
women
gonna say
because
that.
our real power lies in our femininity.
Thank you.
And you can still make money
You
and
can
still have the man that you want.
you
think
can make
this is
more
very
money
possible.
than me.
Now, some women would take what you're saying
Your
and saying
power
that,
is in the
that these
essence
women
of
shouldn't have
the
standards.
softness.
That's why
And I
I've been
know that's
married
out
for
of
25 years, and my husband takes care of me and my family and the household, and I also make my own money, and why I'm happy in my marriage. And this is also why my man is, I stand behind him. Sometimes I stand side by side with him. Sometimes he stands behind me. But
all about knowing your
but
role.
I am.
And that's what she's
And
saying is so beautiful. We don't
sometimes
hear this on the internet.
It changes. Sometimes I play the back. Sometimes he plays the back. And sometimes he does check me and the way I talk to him and
He
stuff
checks
like
you in
that.
private though.
Exactly.
Like he's supposed to.
And vice versa. I don't talk
thank
loud
you.
to him. I don't disrespect him out in public. I don't go to the internet with it. It's people think we have the perfect marriage. Everything
Nothing's
between us
perfect.
happens behind closed doors.
That is right.
I respect my husband. He is a man. I let him lead in a lot of situations. I don't want a man who I can run over and tell him everything. I'm picking everything and doing everything. That's not a man to me. But I have to be woman enough to allow
You said a
that.
key thing though.
So fuck
You
to it.
said I respect him, and unfortunately, a lot of men that I know are dealing with women, and they
don't
have
know how
certain
to respect
situations, this and that, and they be like, "Blood, what should I do?" And I be like, "Man, at the end of the day, man, don't seem like she has a lot of respect for you."
Well,
Right.
and some of these men
So you
need
might
to
need
have
to blow
respect
that
for
up.
themselves too.
That's
so
where it starts.
I can't really speak for the men. Y'all got your shit that you're doing too. So don't
We
get up here
have
and think
all
it's all
faults.
the women. I'm only speaking for the
healing.
women and what I see. But the men, y'all have a lot of work to do
I'm
as
actually
well.
a saint,
Right.
but there's a
Then-
but
then
to
in the
that.
church after
Like-
me, and
like-
I don't even
like-
go
Y'all have
to
to
it.
do
But,
some
but
work.
here's the thing: like many of my brothers out here, I wasn't a saint in my
I'm not.
20s. I wasn't that. That's
Yeah.
why I've got an army of kids.
I
I
don't have an
have
army, but
I have like
I
two
was
sets
fucking.
of ghetto twins. If y'all don't know what ghetto twins is, that's
And the same year.
same year, different mothers. So I have two. I actually have some ghetto triplets. Like I had 3 kids in 1 year. And then the next year I followed up with some ghetto twins. So I had a lot
So
of
here's my
fuck-
thing
what
on
might
the
be
woman's
considered
side.
Fuckboy,
fuckboy
yeah,
activities. But now
You'll
I'm
be a fuck grandpa.
Now I'm,
Yeah,
but now I'm an involved man
But-
who carries himself correctly. But my past comes up.
Okay, so did the women who, when you had your first
God.
child, did the other women know you had a child?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you hit all the children?
I mean, some was obvious, this and that, you know, like hell, I got to.
What about okay? Can I ask a woman this?
But I don't
what
get
would
too
make
much credit
you
for
deal with a
evolving.
guy that had more than 3 baby mamas?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't.
See, I don't understand that. I got friends that got hella baby mamas, and I'm just like, after the third one, y'all are horrible people. You're just horrible
some
people.
Women do not want to give you.
You're just a
credit
horrible
for,
person.
Sometimes
you don't
men,
want to share a man, but your kids got to share a daddy with everybody in the neighborhood.
Well, hold
but
on
you
now.
can't share a man.
Hold on now. Now, here's the other part of that.
Horrible people.
When you are 2 adults and you guys have children, it's all of the responsibility of the parents, the mothers, the stepmoms to create a family dynamic for those children. So if y'all all got to get together.
That's a horrible dynamic.
But listen, the kids are here now.
Work. Yeah,
Y'all got to make it work. All these children deserve to be with their
But some of
parents.
these girls be like, I knew about the 4 baby mamas, but I didn't know it was 6.
Well,
horrible.
Well, some of the
So
problems
those baby mamas should be reaching out to each other and getting.
Yeah, they should.
takes a village.
Or not getting that situation. Ain't nobody hiding 6 baby mamas.
But that requires a
Some
certain level
niggas,
of
some
maturity.
niggas be finessing. I'm sorry.
Some nigga ain't never been a mile away from his
They get
neighborhood.
too caught up in the ego.
But that requires
Hey,
a certain level of
Barquisha
maturity.
said, but they all not
that
gonna get
But
McDonald's.
they all not getting McDonald's. They not getting McDonald's.
Sometimes women
One gonna
do
eat the
seem
toy.
to be more family oriented or more mature at a little bit faster age. And that's like
They mature by us. That's a natural fact. That's a
what
scientific
I'm
proven
saying though
fact.
is that to take a village and all that stuff requires a certain level of maturity.
Structure and structure.
And like in my 20s, a lot of my relationships are so overlapping. Women had fights and things like that. So they're never going to be able to really come together as a village because they done had knockdown brawls
That's the
and
whole
stuff.
thing about sex too. Why I think, the Roe versus Wade, like everybody wants to talk about like reproductive rights, but there's a step before that and a conversation before that we're not having about sex. And when you sleep with someone, people don't understand. You guys are looking at this as something very casual because of the media and stuff like that, and not respecting each other's bodies and what is really happening when you lay down with someone. So you have to know when you sleep with somebody that's a possibility. If you're not having an upfront conversation about, number one, the man, you have to take responsibility too. It's not just on
Niggas
the
go
woman
get snipped
to
and you can
protect
ski,
herself,
ski.
to take birth control, and you get to do whatever you want. This is a equal thing. So once you get inside of her without any protection, you have completely forfeited your right to have any conversation or any say so about what she should do with the baby.
I agree.
100%. Same thing with the woman. If you lay down with a man and you know he's not being faithful to you, and you're bringing your insecurity into that, and your daddy issues and all kinds of things. Exactly, but sometimes if you are mature enough and you develop it yourself, sometimes children are a blessing and they will make you grow up.
All children are a blessing.
All children are a blessing. And once they come into life, you realize, oh my God,
R. Kelly is somebody's child.
My life would have been different without you in it. However,
all children are God's way of telling you thank you.
Okay, let me say this. If you get a girl pregnant who already got a bunch of kids, or if you the first baby daddy and then the girl keep on having kids,
that's not your problem.
Your kids is going to be babysitting his brothers and sisters and won't have a childhood. I can tell you that as a fact.
That's basically
That's not a fact?
No, I'm saying that's going back on us.
Yeah.
We should be able...
If you the first baby daddy, your kids got to watch while she go and make other kids.
Oh my God.
These women, this younger generation...
Your kid is going to be the babysitter while she go to the club and make other kids.
In this shit. Aunt said that's why trainees are becoming the option. Trainee will never be an option for me. It'll never happen. I'm sorry.
He kind of has a point.
He got a point, but
I'm sorry.
Point the other way.
But back to what
Point the other way.
But that goes back to the sex thing. It's still getting off on something. You're not engaging in a relationship. At some point, someone's going to have feelings for the other person. Yeah. And you guys are looking at sex
as temporary.
Yeah, and you're not getting
With a
the
tranny,
full
that's what it would be.
scope of it, and you're
There will
really,
never- there's
you're
nothing
really
needed. I'm
cheating
sorry, no, I
yourselves
can't
out
do
of
that.
really having
It
a
won't happen.
meaningful, beautiful relationship. You know, because you're looking at sex as such a casual thing, and you've been convinced somehow that y'all gotta just dip in anything and everything when
'Cause
it's
we're
available.
conquerors.
There's a
By
cycle
nature.
of.
Could you have a meaningful relationship with a woman who got a bunch of other people's kids?
Depends on your maturity level.
Do you,
Yeah,
do you have
it's
a
a
woman with
mental-
a bunch of kids?
I think I understand what you're saying.
Could you?
And not that I have.
It's I think it's an
Here's the
individual
thing.
situation. It depends.
I have had. My wife is me and my wife's son is
He
her only
said
kid.
that's why trannies are
yeah,
becoming
that's
an
it, yeah.
option. Whoa.
I've
Whoa.
had
For
previous
people you get
relationships.
to watch sports together as men, and then you get
My
to hit
middle
without
son,
risk or have.
his mom has an
Excuse
older
me,
son.
sir. There is risk.
And
HIV
me and
is
him
still
are
very
great.
prominent.
That they say black
And
women
here's
are
the
the
thing.
leaders of that?
Even with my father,
He said there's no risk.
I'm my father's
Sleeping
oldest
with
son.
a tranny.
And
Google
I have
your
two other brothers, and my dad has been married a few times, and I have step brothers and sisters. So I don't have an issue with dealing with a woman who's had kids.
And
I
still
say
in the
this-
house.
Yeah, I say this from my
Yeah,
growing,
but you're
upbringing.
you're making it her
I've
fault
had-
that the dads aren't there and she
It's
has
all-
these
I've
children.
had- I
Do
got
you understand
good-
what you're saying
good
when you say
stories.
Dads? I mean, when do we strike out?
it doesn't matter. You're making it her fault that
No,
she's
yeah,
a
don't
mother
do that.
without fathers. Do you realize
Don't do that.
what you're saying?
There's niggas who
You're making
skeet.
it the woman's fault that the dads chose not to be there and she's stuck with all these kids.
Okay.
That's the point that I was making.
If
You're
you
not
grew up
holding
without a father,
the men
know that
responsible.
it was a guy working at the post office that wanted some coochie, but your mama decided
No,
to
see,
give
you have to stop that.
It was no
know
time in
he's a
history.
comedian.
It wasn't a regular working guy.
I don't care. It's
I
not
grew-
funny.
I understand
I
what
grew
you're
This
Well,
is the
Vegas-
point I'm making.
When you met your husband,
No,
25 years ago.
Let's stick with what you just
Okay.
said. You just said if a woman has
All her
5
kids
children
about the
from
same
from different men, now do you want to date her? You're putting it on the woman why she has
because she chose.
No, it's not just her. It takes two. Where is the dad? Why isn't he there stepping up for his children? Thank you. Next.
My thing is,
Double-edged sword. I hear you, but
but we also got to look at the cycle because see, I grew up without a father, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself because I have since taken responsibility as I got
There you
older.
go.
But I grew up without a father. My father apparently, the little bit that I know about him, apparently had an absentee father, and then I created
continue.
multiple. Like I can't even be mad at my father because my father just flaked on me. I flaked on like 5 or 6 motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
I only got 3
But
kids.
that was part
my
of the
kids
cycle.
from-
But was your father a head of a church?
No.
It don't matter.
Was he a principal, a cop, a postman, or
It
something?
doesn't matter.
No, my father was just
Chances
trifling.
are-
I mean, no offense to any of his relatives right watching, but my father was just trifling. And I turned on trifling. Except for
Deacon Durong?
the only difference between me and my father is I broke the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I broke the cycle. But I can't be too mad at him because, like I said, he flaked on
He
me.
only did
I
what
was
he knew.
on my way to flaking on 8 or 9 if I hadn't
But you know
broke
what I
the
have
cycle.
to say about that?
If your father was a nerd,
But-
that's
but-
I'm
fine.
talking off camera.
Bottom
How many
line-
kids?
bottom
I don't
line-
know how many kids you got, nigga. I
Bottom
need to
line
know
on
after.
all
We'll
that,
talk after.
bottom line on
God
all
damn.
that.
I have
I only got
7
3.
kids.
Bottom line on all that, law of attraction.
Alright,
You're gonna attract
Yeah.
and be who, how you vibrating is who you gonna bring into your space.
Yeah,
Period.
that is
Point
true.
blank.
I have
She is
fetishes.
Your
trifling.
vibe attracts
You
your
are
tribe.
I have
too.
fetishes, but I know that person is a
That's
fetish.
not necessarily true because at one point I could have been considered very low vibrational, and I kept attracting very sensational women who probably would have
On the
had,
surface?
But their vibe, your true vibe.
as they would say, on the ball or doing
energy.
things
That's
in life,
just
and
true
then here comes
energy.
me.
Yeah.
That's material
The
stuff.
true
though.
energy,
When you-
true energy don't lie.
When you strip
The
all
true
that
energy,
down, when you
you
strip
go-
all of
let
that
me tell you
down,
something.
that's all the stuff you can hide behind when you strip
I
all that
remember
down.
a point when I was
Light,
single. I ain't been
attracts
single in
light.
hella
Period.
long, but I remember when I was single and this once again, I give you free shit. I'll tell you to you, I was man. It was like bing, 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 bing.
I've had
My motherfucker, my shit looked like a lava lamp. Because it was good. Because I've always promoted positive energy and cool shit. So my shit beamed with certain motherfuckers. When I went some places and it was cool, it was good. It was cool. That's what I did. I was very young, in my 20s.
I do not know what the fuck.
I didn't have my first kid till I was 22. I turned 23. 2 weeks after I had my first kid.
Now they'll be like, "Oh, you're so wonderful. You're a great dad."
I know is
I was fucking 3 in one day in high school.
The black family is how you
There's a heavy
keep the how you keep. No, I'm saying if you keep the family intact, you're taking out them being on drugs. You're taking out the elimination of being in jail and getting all of this depends on the preservation of the black family. There's so many things happening right now that it has this under attack. Yes. And as a black woman who's married to a black man for 25 years with 4 children, I know what my responsibility.
She got all her kids from the same dick.
Actually, no.
My best friend.
No. I have. My first daughter is from my high school sweetheart. My 3 other children are from my husband. However, when I had her young, I made a vow to myself that, and we were young, and he's still very much involved in my daughter's life. They met. It was all my husband knew if he was going to be dealing with me, he had to deal with the babies, my daughter's father. And I was 18.
Yeah, that's one. So but if you had 5, come on.
I met my husband when I was 26.
Yeah, that's different.
So I had my other 3 children. Woman. However, what I'm saying is everything that kept me in my marriage and fighting for my marriage was not just my marriage; it was my family and the community.
Your structure is the shit.
And I know
that. Do you come from a structured family?
No.
I just got married.
My parents were young when they got married. They divorced early. They really loved each other though. But here's the thing. My dad loved me. My dad, I was a daddy.
See, that stuff matters.
I'm gonna tell you something about her dad.
My dad.
I'm gonna tell you something about her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Her brother Chico, that's my nigga.
Okay, I'm like, what are you gonna tell us about her dad?
I'm gonna tell you too.
Yeah, my dad.
Chico did a video of your dad and Major
playing drums.
Yes, and that shit was awesome.
Yeah, my dad is the character.
Yeah,
just from us.
Yeah, my wife and her dad are best friends.
Yeah, we're close. But that's the key.
Yeah,
and that's
so
what I'm
so alpha male that I couldn't be with a woman who doesn't have a strong relationship with her father. I'm telling you, because everything. I'm way too harsh.
Black women need to
way
date
too
more
harsh
white men.
for.
I know you.
If you didn't have a black father, you couldn't deal with me.
I gave you.
What do you mean by that comment?
No, I'm not giving that the light of day.
White men.
I fucked up by even mentioning it.
Black dads make a. No, that's not
it. That's being funny.
Black women need to start taking accountability for the type of men we choose.
Yes. True. That's what I said.
So let me give you guys, can I give you guys some context?
Yeah, but you were saying. I'm saying before.
No matter what, when your mama got pregnant, it was a guy working at the post office that she didn't think was cute.
The father after the baby comes from not stepping into his child's life.
There's this show, right? And reality shows and whatnot, I talk shit about them, whatever. So I indulge myself.
There's a shortage of black men, though.
True. I'm gonna tell you something. Before I go into this spiel, I remember it was a time I was 20.
My mother was always,
before I had kids.
She rest in peace, was always a side chick.
My parents met across the street.
Look,
on Hagenberger at the Union Hall.
I had my first kid at 22. I turned 23 2 weeks after my daughter was born. My daughter's a Sagittarius, just like me. The best sign in the world. But let me tell you something. When I remember, there was a time I was young. I'm 47. I'll be 48 this year, God willing. When I was like, I'm in my 20s. I'm not gay. I got a good job, and I'm on the same job. I'm 25 years in my job.
I'm not gay.
I've said it. I mentioned what the fuck I said.
That was kind of breathy.
Don't get me wrong. I'm humbly cocky. I've been humbly cocky.
But not gay.
Never. I've been humbly cocky forever. But I'm just like, no, just looking. I'm like, I think I look good. And I wasn't being conceited, but I was like, I think I look good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gay.
He almost wanted some dick. Not
gay.
But I'm just saying. No, I'm being honest with y'all. And I'm not being derogatory with that. I'm just like, when you look at what was going on back then, when I was in my 20s, I was 21, 22, I'm like, I'm not in jail. I got a cool job. The company I work for is one of the biggest companies in the world, and I'm still there, 25 years. But I'm just saying, back then, my mindset was like, what chick wouldn't want to fuck with me?
Right.
I'm cool. I didn't have no kids at the time. I was like, I don't got no BMs. I'm in my 20s.
I was a late bloomer.
I had partners that had kids before they got out of junior high.
Yeah. I'm amazing now, but I wasn't always amazing.
We just need to get our shit
You sound like you was making a realization.
Black
I used to
men
walk
and
in the
black
room
women
with
need to
I
get
was
their
like,
shit
nigga,
together.
who the fuck wouldn't want to talk to a player?
I never had them moments of self-reflection, man.
I
Women
was
just
like,
loved me,
nigga.
but I mean, I was cute.
I was a late bloomer.
I was skinny, I wasn't fat, I'm fat now.
I would like to hear like an OG, because I can't speak on what men should be doing. Like I can only speak on the
We
woman.
shouldn't be gay.
We shouldn't be gay.
This was the
We
90s.
shouldn't be dating
This was
trannies.
96, 95. I was like, man,
I only
97.
call it what I see happening with black women. You know, this next generation.
96, that was a cold
Cardi
96,
B
96.
said, "I don't
My daughter,
cook,
my
I don't
first-
clean."
my
And
firstborn
these
was
women,
born in
they
98.
don't cook and clean for their families. They don't know how to hold down a household if somebody pay them, and it's just like. They're looking at feminism
that's
that
microwave music with microwave theories.
Oppressive, like it's just
You know,
oppressive.
I was like, now, granted, back then, now, was I a property owner then? No. Am I now?
No,
Very
it's
much
not.
so.
You got
But I'm
to
just
cook.
saying, back
Let me
then,
say, when you cooking for your family, you understand you're nourishing their souls. You don't
Right.
understand like
I do
what
that.
you are doing when you holding down.
you
your
understand the
household.
concept of shut up and eat.
Well,
That's what it is,
I
'cause I
just
cook for
understand
love.
what it is to take care of your household. Every
Yeah.
person has the role. The mother has the role, and the father has the role. Or two-parent household. If it's 2 men, 2 women,
So I get
it
the
has to be
cockiness.
2 parents in the household.
Just be
For
there
black
for me,
people,
and I'll make sure
preferably a black man and a black woman.
Yes.
And if you are tipping out, you have to come to an understanding that what's best for the child. And these women are so insecure. Black women are having an identity crisis. We are so insecure.
It's them eyelashes.
We're going through the niggas' phones. The BBLs is out of control. Like that mouth
I'm
is
actually
out
a
of
fan
control.
of BBLs.
Of
Nothing
course
is
you are.
tearing up the
Like,
black community more than eyelashes.
Oh, God. The motherfucker
I need to
the
hear.
cum
I need
catchers.
the context on that.
I
Cause I like eyelashes. You know what? I
way
don't-
out there, the cross
because
dressing
that's all you
eyelashes,
see
Hold
now.
on, let me clarify.
the
I
Swiffer.
think they look comical, but I appreciate the fact that she's trying, like, to make herself. You know, I appreciate somebody trying to fix themselves up and look
I
good.
don't know.
I appreciate that.
I think there might
Thelma
be-
didn't have eyelashes like that.
Thelma
She would
is-
now.
It's
Thelma
just,
would- nah.
It just it's out of hand because social media is making people, is creating an alternate universe and an alternate reality, and people are looking at social media and everyone's homogenized. There's no individuality, and so you're following someone you don't even know. It's not even, you're not even living in reality. There's no individuality. Women are homogenized. It's cookie cutter. Everybody is looking the same, and you're trying to follow this person who's following somebody else.
Yeah. Wait.
And that eyelash
I
thing
gotta
is
say
part
this.
of that.
Yeah, I gotta say this. Respect to your husband, but I could tell it's some good love in y'all marriage. The fact that look at how you're dressed around us. You're 100% as a lady.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't mind my wife being dressed like this in a room with 3 dudes.
I know.
She's carrying herself like a wife. She ain't all beat up and not looking pretty. I'm gonna still be a woman,
Modesty.
but I know how to be your wife when you're not around.
Of course, and let me tell you, here's the other thing these women don't understand, and I understood this. Me and my husband went out to an Usher concert, and I had on a cute dress, but I was dressing for my husband.
Yeah.
But another dude came up behind me and wanted to touch my leg, and I realized in that moment, men don't want you to not dress this way because they're trying to suppress you. These motherfuckers don't want to have to kill somebody for
Thank you.
And so when I realized that my husband pulled a knife out and was about to slice this nigga's neck because he disrespected me, I didn't want that to happen anymore.
Hey,
So
that's-
the next time we went out, it's okay for me to cover up myself because I know my husband will kill for me.
And that's why.
And I didn't want that situation to happen. So I was like, I don't
Right.
care.
Because here's you
Okay, 'cause
absolutely
these
right.
niggas out here are disrespectful. So if my husband says, And he doesn't say that because I'm already going to take the liberty to
'Cause you-
respect his honor, and also I
acknowledge all
understand. You have
points
to
in the prison.
understand. I know what comes with that. If I decide to wear something, I have to take responsibility. What's going to come with that when I wear what I wear?
Right.
You might have to
Now,
mug
now
people.
it may be wrong,
don't.
and these niggas is out of pocket for sure, 100%.
They
Because I
gonna-
should be able to dress how I want to dress, but at the same time, because I have
You're
a husband,
creating a
I don't
conflict.
want my man to go to jail behind killing somebody because he will.
Yeah, that's why my father-in-law, he knows that his daughter likes to get dressed up. So when he met me and seen I was a solid dude, he's like, my daughter is going to dress like that, but she's with a man of all men. When you know what I mean? When I step in the room, I don't have to do all kind of
Because it's
Antics and-
antics. They be like that. Like that dude is a
Stripper
man.
culture.
I might be a man because I got my homeboys with me. But this dude is probably a man from the moment his eyes close and open. You know what I mean? All day long. You know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm saying.
And that's a missing
That's what
art.
I'm saying.
That's
about,
a missing art. See, that's
about
why it's
social media.
Yeah,
though.
my gangster ain't all flashy. I ain't got a pistol hanging out of my pocket or nothing
This
like
is
that.
all
But
social
people
media.
understand. You know,
No,
I got a
get it.
special set of
We,
skills.
I think a modesty. A little
I get Liam
modesty-
Neeson on you.
A little modesty goes a long way. Like everybody, it's not for everyone. And
Right.
like I said, I don't want to embarrass my husband. I don't want him feeling embarrassed of me. I don't want niggas talking shit to him about me. And I feel like at the end of the day, yeah, I can dress sexy and stuff like
Right.
that. But there's the strippers. That's they shit.
Yeah,
That's what
'cause-
they do, and I'm all for it. We could go watch the stripper together, but that's not for me.
Do you know what's a term that they ain't even got a new term for it because it just don't matter no more?
They don't care.
You want to
That's
know
what
what
forever
term
you
that
promote
is?
it.
You know it by heart. They don't even got a term for it in this generation. You want to know what that term is?
But
Out of pocket. You know that's a term,
out of pocket.
but it's not in this term and not in this generation.
There's plenty of gay black men with wives.
See,
raising-
women could be
Yeah,
out of
I
pocket.
get it.
You got a man, but you behave this way. You know, back when our mama know what out of pocket was. Our grandma knew what out of pocket was. In this generation, I could be who I want to be. I ain't got to act
Yeah,
like I'm a
see,
wife.
yeah.
I ain't got to act like
Yeah.
I ain't got to act.
And you don't.
It's
But
no
then you
such
have to
thing as
know-
out of pocket nowadays.
You have to know that there's going to be, when you do that, you have to know that there's going to be consequences,
Yeah.
repercussions for that. And if you can handle it, because there's some women out here that they handle that.
Yeah.
And they out here handling it. And I know some women like that. They've been out here
Yeah.
on the block. They know how to handle it.
Right.
Some of y'all want to get out here and do this and not know what you getting out here for. And some of the feminist movement, the Me Too, sometimes I think has women thinking that they shouldn't have to be doing it, which they shouldn't. But at the same time, if you have if you want to be in a relationship with someone who is defending your honor, this is not going to work.
Right.
It's not going to happen. Nobody's going to want to be with you if you looking like $5.
Yeah, you got to be a good
Period,
steward
point
of your power. You got to be a good steward of your beauty. You
Hello?
know what I mean? If you beautiful, you got to learn how to act in public.
I'm at the studio. I'm on the podcast. Where are you at?
Okay, sorry. Okay, I don't want to interrupt you.
Okay.
I'm just out. Want me to come through that way?
Yeah, come on.
We,
So, what I say? I have friends who are ladies of the night. I have friends who that's what they do, and we've hung out together. And they do what they do, but they some grown ass women.
Yeah.
They handle their business.
And they don't be reckless eyeballing.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. You said ladies of the night.
Yeah, they know what they out here charging niggas, and they know what it is that they do. And I think with some of these girls, I understand like the liberation of loving your body
Yes.
and being proud of who you are and like showing your stuff. I get that, like that's cool, but it's sending mixed messages.
See, even ladies of the night, they know what they dealing with. I remember on
That's
the
what I'm
internet, they
saying.
was talking about, it was this big internet thing. It was like, would you rather get $500,000 or have a lunch with Jay-Z?
I
Remember that?
shit.
Remember
Give me
that?
the money.
I don't know. So he might give you some game that's worth millions.
And here's the
You
thing.
get what I'm saying? He might give you
I
some
understand both
He might
sides of
open
that
up
coin.
some door. If you saw me at lunch, do you know how much I will be booked at the club if somebody see me
yeah.
having lunch with Jay-Z?
No, you're absolutely right. I understand both sides of that coin.
I probably could book $10,000 every weekend.
What? Wait, I missed
I
that.
understand.
But I'll go
both
over it
sides of
again
that
so
coin.
he can say so she
Go
could be on it. It was this thing on the internet. Would you rather have $500,000 or have a lunch tax free or have a lunch with Jay-Z?
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. The internet. What is that? That's not even a real.
But what it was saying
not
is,
even a
would you
real
rather
world
have
scenario.
an hour of
Okay,
game?
on the internet, I could say yeah, sure, but in my real life,
$100,000.
that's not gonna happen.
But yes,
That's what
do
I'm
you
saying.
believe somebody can give you
No,
$1 million
No,
worth of
it's-
game in 1 hour?
Yes.
$1 million worth of game in 1 hour. No,
$1 million worth of opportunity in
that
1
may
hour.
have worked for that person, but that doesn't mean it's gonna work for you.
How much you think Jay-Z might pay his pilot? How much you think Jay-Z pays his security guard, his chef,
I think
his
people-
I
that?
don't
So
think-
that
I
that
don't think,
lunch.
though, that-
If you
I'd
got
rather-
a
whatever
if you got a
tidbit-
skill set, if you're a truck driver and Jay-Z got a trucking
I'd
company,
rather sit down and talk to an elder for an hour than Jay-Z. Honestly, this is what I'm saying about the internet. I'd rather sit down and talk to somebody who's 85 years old
Yeah.
for an hour.
like Jay-Z or not, it's a lot of
Then
scandals he
Jay-Z.
didn't fall into.
I don't think whatever tidbits that Jay-Z would give me in that time at lunch, I wouldn't have the infrastructure in place to implement them. So it would be better for me to take the 500,000 and use that as a foundation to launch, even though I'm sure that there's a lot of game
That's
and
not even a
scenarios.
realistic question, though.
This is a hypothetical scenario, but I
are we
still,
dealing in hypotheticals now?
I know,
like,
but the question was asked.
Hypotheticals ain't saving our community.
I don't know. I
Y'all
feel
will
like
engage in this
so
stupid
I have
question
had
for
a
an hour on the
comedian
shade
talk
room.
to me,
But
and I
if
feel
you
like
are
that
teaching-
that
if you are
talk
teaching the
turned into
youngsters,
tens of
you
thousands
do
of
have
dollars.
to be able to give them scenarios, to give them the ability to recognize scenarios and the tools of how to react.
Yeah.
to certain
What's
It's
the
it's
point
things
of
that
that?
Daniel
I don't
Dugar has said to me that I do believe
Shout
is
out to
worth.
Dugar.
I believe things that Daniel Dugar has said to me that might be worth tens of thousands of dollars, and then I live by it till this day.
Okay, Daniel Dugar, but Jay-Z, that's something else.
I once sat for
Shout out
3
to
hours
Dugar.
on several occasions, each time for 3 hours, with somebody with 10 times the money of Jay-Z.
It's all about mindset.
And
what your
I
goals
picked
are.
up absolutely no game from him. And I'm talking about the dude who founded Snapchat. You know, he donated a couple $100,000 to one of my nephew's political campaigns. But I sat with a dude like this. We chopped it up. We've had drinks before this and that. I've literally never picked up anything because the particular expertise that he has in making money was due to him being tech-oriented and having to be a Stanford alumni and getting into certain circles. So at the time I was talking to him, he was worth $4 billion. But there was nothing that me and him had in our conversation that I could have took and applied to my life in Oakland. Nothing. But
I feel like
he's a
the
multi-billionaire.
real reason why I'm not super
Celebrities.
successful at this point is because I have never been in a Pharaoh movie. So we got to explain that. What can we do about that?
We're gonna work on that.
Let's work
I ain't
on
even
that.
I ain't even gonna lie to you, good brother.
I came when you was.
I've been seeing
We
you
met at
moving,
Sweet
right?
Fingers. Remember, we met at Sweet Fingers.
We're
Me,
gonna
you,
make it happen.
Hannibal.
Can we go make?
Yeah.
Can we?
13 years ago.
Yeah, it's been,
How many
it's-
movies have we done in 13 years?
Shit, about 9.
I gotta
So-
give it to Pharrell. This fool will pump out.
But
some movies.
but my thing is this: is that unfortunately,
Byron Allen of Oakland.
it's been a gift and a curse. Dealing with a lot of our Bay Area comedians has been a gift because there's an exceptional amount of talent. The curse is that many of them have what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect.
What's that?
Dunning-Kruger is a syndrome where where people feel that they're more talented or more important
That's Oakland.
than what they actually are.
Meet Tristan
And
Johnson.
so thus, I've been in a position where I'm trying to champion this Bay movement, but by championing the Bay movement, I'm using Bay people who might not necessarily have given me everything
A full
that they've had.
commitment. Yeah.
But you
But
still
so
in
I
the Bay
fell back.
movement too. So
But
what
then
you
I
talking
said,
about?
but then I said to myself, we're gonna do some more, and I'm digging even deeper. I'm going outside of the regular circle of comedians that I already know, and because my true goal is to do a movie that showcases all the Bay Area comedians.
Well, I want to tell you this.
Our own version of Let's Do It Again. Or
Do
Uptown
your
Saturday
own
Night.
research. I'm probably one of the most
I've been
respected.
seeing your movement. I've been seeing the movement.
I'm talking about when I say I'm going to do
Yeah, it's
something,
coming.
it's going to get done. If you want some real integrity behind something, right now I'm about to document myself doing a juice fast for this one company.
So I've been seeing your
I got to
movement.
document this.
Yeah.
I did it once. I did 20 days off of water. But I didn't document it. Starting Sunday, I'm documenting things. So when I do something, I'm talking about, I have to put it, my whole family, everybody in the house got to be on board. It got the people at my church got to be on board. Yeah, I did. I'll show you the pictures. I lost 40 pounds in 20 days.
The longest I've done was 3 days.
Yeah, but I'm about to do a juice fans. So when I tell somebody if she was nice enough to bless me with the juice, and I know I could do it on water, then I'm going to document it. We're going to put it on YouTube. I got that kind of commitment. I'm not going to have you start a movie with me and then I don't make it to no auditions. I don't make it to no, I don't make it, oh, no, I got this. I got to believe.
About comedians, they love comedy.
You're right.
My man
And so
said,
cats will go do like, man, we
Do a
shoot Saturday
$50
night, and the cats be like, oh no, I got a show at the American
That's
Legion
the-
Hall in Antique, and I got to be like,
but see, that's where I get wrong. Ask anybody on there, they'll tell you, all I care about
Here's
is
the thing
did we
with that.
capture it?
Hey,
I'm one of the best comedians in
we're gonna
Oakland.
make it happen.
But if it wasn't
Don't make it
done
happen.
on film, it don't matter.
No, that's not true.
It don't matter. You got to capture it.
That's not true.
You got to capture it.
beginning stages of
That's like
building a
if you
brand.
met Michael Jackson, you telling me you wouldn't put him in the studio to make Thriller, you'll just have him sing at your girl's birthday party?
Yeah.
No, you would press record.
That's the thing. I don't
You
know.
better
I-
press record.
I
She
feel
wasn't a
like
Michael Jackson fan.
I got that
Hey,
Michael
you
Jackson
see,
picture in my
she
office.
got. Oh my God! When we finish,
You go
can
see
we,
the art
You
of
got
Michael Jackson.
She got.
They messed up my tattoo, but this is how much I believe in
No,
performing.
what
That's
I
Michael
was saying
Jackson.
was,
It just got messed up. I did it in Mexico for my honeymoon.
I just feel like for me, if it wasn't filmed, it didn't happen. Type of mentality is not me.
2.5, and I wasn't trying
Because
to go this long.
sometimes you can really absorb
bump-
it and
bump
savor
things
it
tonight.
more if you're not filming it.
I forgot.
Yeah, I'm thankful that Lauryn Hill's first album wasn't a freestyle. I'm happy it was an album that we could go back and listen
But
to
it doesn't
over
mean
and
that it's
over.
not
Because
legitimate
everything else
just
after
because it
was-
wasn't on wasn't
Me,
filmed.
no, I'm not talking about Instagram. I'm talking about captured into a movie.
yeah.
Friday, you cannot. When we think of Bernie Mac, we think of the dude walking
Yeah,
across
but
the
that's
street.
a
I think the
process.
stripping business started in Africa a long time ago.
Yeah. When we think of when he does Player Club and stuff like that, yes, we like Bernie
shit.
Man.
Hey, Whiteout just pulled up. Open the door
Yeah.
for that nigga.
Whiteout told you
Oh,
Whiteout my evil twin.
Oh God.
I was finna end it, but
I
if
need
he
another
just
woman in
pulled
here
up,
to balance out all
yeah,
this
which
testosterone.
is
Tristan Whiteout.
I was trying to end it, but Whiteout pulled up. So
White out.
he was on last week.
Was my brother here last week?
No,
your
he was
brother?
supposed to come.
Who's her brother?
My boy Chico. That's my nigga.
Yeah,
he
so
was here
I feel like we need to do some legendary stuff.
We do. And here's the thing. Just like we talk, because for y'all that don't know, me and Tristan was
Y'all follow my documentary,
on
though.
Whiteout show, Mad Monday's podcast. We was on, both of us was on the podcast Monday, and we chopped it up about networking and like we said, yep. Excuse me.
No bump thing in the wet.
Um,
What? I just pulled
Oh
it up.
yeah, I
They canceled the
It's
bump.
all about mindset and what your goals are.
yeah. He said no to the
Appreciate
bump.
you.
Yeah, I'm. You know something. I'm gonna just say this, and people
Emotions
that
get
know
high
me,
in situations like that.
no, me, I'm an introvert. I'm truly an introvert. I'm an extrovert also, but I do crowds sometimes, but sometimes I just don't like doing crowds because I've worked hard to get to where I'm at. I'm not
No spray.
worth $5. I
Sean's
don't-
eyes be looking like that owl.
Yeah,
Cat's
I'm like-
eyes, they be going like this.
and it's not even a big me, little you shit with shit nowadays. But I'm just,
I gotta get there. I know I do, and you didn't get there overnight.
I didn't. I do, but now
Get
it's.
where?
I'm.
Where are we getting to?
Where you got a little
just-
more value on your life, and you
And
don't
the
take
shit I
every
do-
invite.
Right.
I want to do
Can't be
shit.
accessible to everybody.
I'll come out and do shit sometimes and do some shit, and I'm not being funny. Please don't.
I'd be so
Don't
passionate.
nobody take
though.
it funny. It's me being funny.
I'm with you 100%.
But sometimes I just be like, man, I want to do some shit, and it's like I listen to my gut sometimes, and it can be I had the purest intentions, and if my gut tell me just
Fall back.
Go home. I'm 47. I got a wife. I go home and chill. I don't want to brag. This nigga bullshit. Hey, nigga, he said he just pulled up in the West. Oh, he said he just pulled up in the West. Okay. Because I was going to come out there.
Yeah, I'm going to go there after I leave
Yeah,
here.
let me know what's up. Because I want to show some support.
See, the reason why we got to capture it, just like you said, if you saw a video and you was like, dang, Tris got security guards, Tris got waitresses, Tris got everything a comedy club, you might want to bring your wife to one of my shows. Even the pride in the flyer, if the flyer look quality, yeah, but I don't want you to think that I'm bringing you to some hood spot.
No,
now your wife don't feel.
I go
What's
in.
wrong with the hood spot?
I go in all those spots. It's
I don't
just
want my
about-
wife being where nobody about to get beat up.
Right. I don't put exactly
Where the pretty girls can't go.
You met her move around
right.
Oakland.
And my wife look good, but like you said,
Yeah.
I don't overly extend myself. I go to shit and try to do shit, and the fuck people, and that's fuck boys and fuck girls, fucked it up. The enjoyment of being able to go out. I was a wild child when I was young. I went out. I grew up in Oakland, East Oakland, Murder Dubs, and my family in Palo Alto. And I just happened to go to I went to junior and senior year in Grant and Heights, all that. So I have a gumbo of experience of shit.
You
life
said gumbo.
shit.
Yeah, that's where I only had my junior and senior year.
I can write
At
a
Grant.
book on some shit that I've seen, done, plethora, all type of shit. But I have a bunch of partners who have not been able to live to the age I am now.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of partners who may be the age I am now, and they don't have nan bit of freedom.
Yeah. A lot of my
I have a
girls,
bunch of people I know who don't touch six figures, and I touch that shit every year. Like you touch the floor when you get out of the bed.
Ooh, not the
speak on it.
And I'm not being flashy or flaunty. I've earned it, and I've gotten to that level, and it's like you. Once again, as I said, remember what I said? That emotional intelligence of I'm a nigga, but do I have to be a nigga?
Here we go with the poetry.
See, that's
I'm
why
a nigga,
I want to
but do I
capture
have to
everything
be a
I do. That's why I
nigga?
appreciate movies and capturing everything I do.
I'm going. I'm going. If it's happening, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show up for a few because no, it's all about showing respect and love. I'm always pay homage to people. But there's always that part of me that be like, I just don't want to be around no bullshit.
Yes, I'm here with that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, whether it becomes to going to people's comedy shows, I'm gonna always promote somebody something. If you got something going on, you say, hey Sean, tag me in. You tag me, share it. It's good. I don't need you to be like, I'm gonna give you some money. No, same reason I have this show is to promote because that's what we do. We network. But at the same time, I've been bipped several times, and my car ain't fucking cheap.
All right.
My windows, I'll pay for that shit.
Yeah. Now that makes it hard to go
To
anywhere in
enjoy.
Oakland. The bipping is out of control.
I want to enjoy. I want to come out and have fun with my windows.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait. Let's
finna
make
pull
that a
up.
thing. If people are,
I don't drive a
if you're
bucket.
from a hood in Oakland, and you're letting people bip in your hood, how tough are you?
Right.
If people can't make money in your hood, your local store, your local bar, then you're soft.
And who's really running the block?
Who's running the
And
block if somebody can't have a
hold on.
comedy
Let's-
show in your hood
before we
without
do
getting
this,
bipped?
Let's just
Somebody
do
should
this.
be
Hold
running
on.
the
Off
block.
top. Let's. Can we do?
Somebody
Can
should
we?
be running the block where they be like, all
You
right,
get in.
tonight this
Can
is
we
off
just
limits.
do a Renee? Pour your what you drinking? 'Cause
No,
I know
because
you.
these young generation.
I want to do a R.I.P. Toast to Bump.
To bump. Hey, and
bump.
he did a lot for us.
He
I
did
met.
it, yeah.
He
That's-
paid
I'm
me
just
to
saying.
drive a bunch
I wanna
of
get
comedians
this
down
man-
here, and we was there every Thursday.
And I didn't network with to get him on here or to nothing, and that's just it. It sucks.
We
but
thought we
I
had
wanna
forever.
get his I want to say,
Bump.
respect, all due, all praises due to the Most High, and my condolences to that man's family.
So what happened?
I thought somebody was bipping.
I don't have the story, and I don't ask the story. I don't ask what happened when somebody dies.
Yeah, it's
But
none of
Maybe it
us.
was just a
I
homeless
know, but
person.
who, what, where, and when?
They said he was murdered.
I don't know.
Bump Jesus.
Who is that? I don't know.
He had an underground comedy spot, and
He had the boat party
Where
going
he had the
on.
boat party. That's my number
He
one
was-
joke. It's hard for me to say that
Well,
joke.
he
and
was-
I didn't
he
win
was making
competitions
moves.
with that joke.
That was a black man making moves, and I
Sometimes it don't be our own though.
Sometimes.
true, but
Sometimes
I mean,
it don't
I ain't
be
never
our own.
experienced it.
I don't know the story, and I don't even want to speculate, and I don't really. I'm be honest.
Yeah,
with
we
y'all.
don't talk
I don't
about
want to
that
get
type
into
shit.
it because I don't know, and I don't speak on shit that I don't
Yeah,
know.
we don't.
I just know a brother who was trying to make moves, trying to do some good shit, is not here no more, and they're having a benefit to help pay for his.
I was a
expenses and whatnot.
beneficiary of what he's been doing for the
And
last
I just want
two
to. I
years.
just want to say
Was to make
respect.
sure I have a platform.
Right, respect. And I'm not saying that it was somebody that me and him could be in the same room. He'd be like, "Hey, that's Deshaun." I'm not saying that. No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's a black man, period, who was trying to do some shit, and I respect it as a black man. And he ain't here, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just want to give some homage to that brother.
But either or.
During the pandemic, he opened up a door where we could have an underground comedy show. This is during the pandemic, even coming out of the pandemic. So I was one of the people that benefited from the underground shows that he had, because we was there every week. You know,
Yeah.
I get
The
booked at Tommy
pandemic,
T's and stuff like that. But brothers like Bump Jesus keep a career for people like me to come and pick up $200 or $300.
So this is our third
And
year.
sometimes, somebody has to pick up the legacy and don't let all.
Well,
of his
that's
hard
I got a
work-
show and it's on September
No,
the
I'm saying,
3rd.
who's gonna take over the club, the thing?
Yeah, I'm doing. I got that. I got a show. It's an underground show, just like how Bum Jesus had on 85th. I got one in Sacramento. It's called Funny on Fire. It's a 420 friendly show.
Logic shit.
Yeah,
you be funny
it's
as
a
fuck.
420 show. But Bump Jesus, I
The
met him
420 smoke
doing
show. That's you.
I met Bump Jesus because I was headlining another 420 show called Smoking Jokes.
Yeah.
He was like, we was doing that in Sacramento. He said, I'm gonna have it at the compound in Oakland on 85th. So we would do that on a Friday. We would do Bump Jesus on a Thursday. But then it got so successful, so many people came. He did a boat.
Yeah.
And he did the boat
the boat
twice.
shit. Yeah.
Like, this is something him dying is like Tommy T's dying, because that's where I was a king at. You know what I mean?
Tommy T is white.
Yeah, but I'm just
I'm just
saying,
saying for his
having an
prevalent
outlet
comedy
for our
outlet.
comedy.
Tommy has positioned,
But why?
Because,
they positioned themselves
yeah,
to where
in Bump
to where
Jesus' world, I was a
the
star.
most East Bay black comedians.
That's my
Tommy
problem.
is their
with
outlet.
Oakland. Everybody's trying to be a star. Nobody's trying to be the business behind the star.
Well, now I own it. And I don't even smoke
Well, I
weed.
mean, there's such barriers. Like, for instance, just before, and I'm glad this happened, just before the pandemic happened, the old Esther's Club over there on 7th Street, across from that, went on to the market. And I was in the process of negotiating a lease for them.
Oh,
And I was going to open it up as a comedy club. And, and so we got down to the final thing, because it was the club, and then there was a 2-bedroom apartment upstairs that came with it.
Why
And
didn't somebody do something at Jeffrey's?
Well, that's the thing. I don't have no
Ownership.
access to Jeffries.
Ownership.
So I was gonna. And right there,
Ownership?
somebody put in a bid to buy it, and they pulled my lease. The person made an offer of $1.2 million for the property.
Ooh.
Well, then the pandemic happens, and that person pulled their offer, and then they came back to me saying, would you like to?
You should have said 200,000.
Well, no, to lease it. And I was like, no. But since that time, for the last 2 years, I have been looking for a location to open up a black-owned comedy club.
Jeffrey's.
Right. Well,
Why don't you
hey,
work something out with
right
Jeffrey?
before the pandemic,
I
a
want
month
to
before the
own
pandemic, they had
But
Chocolate
you can
Sunday
own
in
the
Oakland,
brand. You don't have to own the
and I
building. That's too
destroyed
much
that
overhead.
I
motherfucker
don't know Jeff.
and got invited
Go
down to Chocolate
introduce
Sunday
yourself.
and
He's got you
Hollywood.
Ever see Jeffrey's?
And I destroyed that
I've
shit.
seen it plenty of
Salute.
times. And I know
Salute.
lots of times it's basically closed. He doesn't. He only opens it so often.
Okay, so go over
But
there.
I don't know him.
Go introduce
Question.
yourself and be like, hey, brother, I'm trying to do this comedy thing. Let's you and I get together in this business. You got this club on fucking 14th and Broadway in the smack of downtown Oakland with a
Politics.
stage, a historic building with
Politics.
a parking lot. How can we do
Politics.
business?
You know him?
Politics.
I don't think she
Yes.
understood what I just said.
Politics.
I'm talking about in
We don't-
Oakland.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jeffries, they brought chocolate
Politics.
sundaes up to Jeffries right before the
I want to
pandemic.
be like, I got
Can
the
we,
keys.
okay,
and I can
but
play 7
bring it
days a
back.
I'm
week.
reeling in.
I know Jeffries is open.
I'm
He's
really
all,
saying.
he's sitting up there on. He owns.
That's where the thing at
Jeffrey
tonight, right?
owns that whole
No, that's
block.
at the Continental.
He owns
Continental.
the building.
That's right.
That has
I was-
4
me and
floors.
Nashima was
He
there
owns
last
the art
Friday.
gallery and the tattoo
damn, Nashima
thing
was
on
supposed
the
to be
corner.
there tonight, so
Go
we'll
talk to
we'll
Jeffrey.
work on getting
And
Nashima
do a
on.
comedy night on Tuesdays or Sundays
I
I
or
don't want to do a
wherever.
comedy night. I want to do a comedy club. I
Okay,
want
Okay.
to
do
every
a
night.
comedy club
Can we have this
at
conversation later?
Jeffries, whatever night you decide, and
Negroes.
that's your night.
New
I want every
intelligent
night.
God gifted
No,
Africans.
start with just one
Yeah,
night.
it starts one.
I'm
Just start with one night.
That's why I was going to go get Esther's. and
If
have my
only
own
go to-
for
you
one
see, this is what I'm
night.
saying is the problem with Oakland.
Luther had that
We
song.
don't
Bite
know
off
how
too
to work
much.
together.
Only for one
Everybody
night. And a
wants
lot of
to
y'all
do
was
their
fucking
own
niggas in
thing.
junior high to that
That's the
song.
problem.
I'm
Everybody wants to
going
be the
way
star.
left of the shit they
Nobody wants to
talking.
know how to like work together with each other. This is exactly what I was saying.
And as we
What is stop? The
Hold
man
on.
already has the liquor
I'm
license.
just here to look
He already
cute.
has the bar. He
Ah,
already has the facility.
Damn, I'm trying to say what I'm
You
gonna say.
have
I
the
keep coughing.
idea. You go and work.
As
out
We
some
Lay is the
business with
best
Okay.
side chick song of all time. I said it. I'm your
No,
fuck.
saving all my love for you.
Give me the clarity on why
Whitney
you curtail
Houston.
my ambition.
It's not curtailing.
Upside down, you're
It's
turning me.
just a
What
step
about?
before you?
That's
get
a
to
side
the
chick
point.
song.
Why would you take on all this overhead? This was
As
the
We
ideal
Lay.
situation because all you could just focus on comedy. That's it.
Number one.
You can worry
Number
about
one.
everything else.
Saving all my love for you, I get
Right.
it at
You
1.5.
don't have to worry about the bar. You don't have to worry.
As
about
We
staffing.
Lay.
You don't have to worry about.
Have you heard the
DJ.
lyrics
You don't
to
have worry
Saving All
about
My Love?
licenses
Yes.
And parking and security. All you need to do is
As
focus
We
on
Lay.
the night. You curate the night.
You think that
And you
As
deal
We
with
Lay.
that. You work
Over
out
a
with the
sweet thing?
businesses on that. Whether
You're
he
not
takes the
mine,
bar,
I
you
can't
take the
deny
door,
it.
he takes the
Don't
bar,
you
split
hear
it,
me
50-50,
calling,
whatever the
baby?
business is.
Love me now
But
or
you
I'll
curate
go
that
crazy.
night.
Whoa,
You make
whoa,
it your
sweet
night.
thing.
Farrell presents. Blah, blah,
Somebody
blah, blah,
that
blah.
ain't
At
hers
Jeffries and
is her
Company.
everything.
You're
As
still
we
the
lay.
promoter. People
I need you
still
to
are
go
going to come
home
because
and
they
then
know where
go.
that building is.
Come on, bro. Listen.
They're still
We gon'
gonna be
go.
parking. He
Hey, y'all.
already has the
Sweet thing.
infrastructure.
It's Friday.
You're bringing. The,
I'ma love you
the
anyway.
idea.
Yeah.
Even
You're
if you
bringing
cannot
the,
stay.
you know, the
Hey,
I believe you're all the one for me. Here is where you ought
And
to be.
then-
You ain't here now,
If
but you
things
ought to
go
be
well
here.
She
and
like,
you-
nigga,
I
this-
just want to
you know,
satisfy
you know,
you.
that's
That's
just
true.
your
Love me
development
now. I
time
got
to see
you.
what works, what doesn't work.
We
Yeah.
just talking shit
Then
tonight
you
on
go
this
and be like,
Friday.
I
you know
think
what?
Sweet Thing got to be the
This is
ultimate.
I don't know
I'm
what they
hacking
talking
this
about
out.
back here no
I think
more.
I'm over here, but why
But
would you? Why
anyway.
not? You could be just
Not anyway,
just
'cause
take
that'd be
clocking
dismissive.
money off. How many?
On another note.
Jeffries holds how many people?
Was Goofy a wolf or a
300,
dog?
300 people downstairs.
Can
300 people
Can I reel
upstairs.
y'all in?
2 times
for
3.
3 seconds?
That's 3,000.
What's the rainbow
6,000,
for on your hat?
6,000
What's the rainbow for on your hat?
5,000 go in
There's no
your
rainbow.
pocket, or
So
4,000. He
this
gets-
hat,
he makes the
the
rest
S
off
is
the
for
bottom.
Show You Right. It was my frat name. Sexually healing,
What you're saying
orgasm,
makes
you'll
sense.
appreciate really integrate hand
What you're
therapy.
saying makes sense.
But the
After you
S-
broke
this
it
was
down, 'cause
actually,
at first you sounded dismissive and
this hat
condescending.
is
I see what you're doing.
LNB,
The only thing
Latin
I'm dismissive of is
baseball.
trying to take on all that overhead.
But
And then
I
now
have
you're becoming
a couple of
business
outfits
owner,
that
not
go
a
with this hat,
creative
so I
visionary.
coordinate shit. And
It's
the
two
S is
separate
Sean,
things.
Show You
True
Right.
that, but I've been that
My
all my
tat.
life.
So
Great.
when I saw this,
So
I was
you're
like,
good at it.
it
Gotta
goes.
do it.
Do the,
Yeah.
be the
In
creative
pursuit.
It's
visionary
a
behind
Latin
it. Let
baseball
him
team.
do the
Baseball is the
business.
greatest sport.
Word?
I mean, I've
I
always
coach
had
baseball.
It
My son
always
plays
takes
baseball.
a team.
Baseball's the only sport that your whole
It takes a team.
my
I'm not
contract is
making it
guaranteed
happen.
100% ever.
Stop
Always.
saying that because you do
Only
it.
sport.
I see you do it with your films.
But that's also the limitation.
can we,
why the teams only- it goes so
I
far
think we
because
gotta-
I'm very poor at team
You guys
building.
are like
Exactly,
on
which is
some.
why I'm saying
We're here
Go
and we're there.
collaborate with
I'm
someone
trying
who
to-
knows how to team build, who's been running Dock of the Bay since fucking
Can we just-
1990, who knows the club scene.
1990,
He's
Chubb
a
Rock is on the
G-
scene.
a OG
treat
in the
him
club
right.
since 1990 in Oakland.
They were,
He,
okay,
he
can
Jeffrey's.
I bring you
Jeffries
in.
was. I'm just trying to school him
No,
on how
I
he
get
should
how
collaborate
you trying
with
to school.
Jeffries.
Can we school after camera?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Can
Okay.
we get the
I'm
chains
gonna-
off the door?
Back to the point.
I get it. Yeah,
of
the
us
point
being able
is,
to
I want to
collaborate
thank
together,
everybody
and
on here
everybody
tonight.
in Oakland trying to be the
We going 3
superstar.
hours damn near.
That's all
and
I'm trying to
I
say.
Going 3 hours.
I could be Cinderfella.
This is female energy for you.
Plus, you also got
Tristan.
Tristan Johnson.
Oh,
Tristan
Tristan
Funny
Johnson.
on all your social
Please
media.
tell people where they can
Platform.
find you.
Just
Sorry,
type in
sorry.
Tristan Funny on anything. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
You got any-
Yes, you might see me performing at your churches. I perform at churches all over. I will be at a church on Brentwood. I performed at over 100 churches. I rock and I roll. And me and Pharaoh is going to come up with something. Because he gonna see that I'm a true trooper. And follow
gonna
me
fuck with
on YouTube because I'm gonna do the challenge with the smoothie thing.
What?
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
that?
Oh, I'm
What you got
some
coming up?
amazing things happen.
What
Yeah,
what
it's gonna be-
projects? What you got coming up?
Oh, I got Funny on Fire. I'm Tristan Funny, so this is Funny on Fire. We're doing this kind of like how Bump Jesus had it, a weed-friendly comedy show.
Oh,
And it's gonna be run elegant. It ain't gonna be no thugs
No
standing
hood, no
up.
bullshit.
Everybody got a seat. It's underground, so you gotta buy your ticket. It's a private thing. I'm gonna have vendors. It's gonna be done. Y'all will see videos, and you be like, Tristan runs that like Ray's
We there.
Boom Boom Room. It won't
No,
be
we
no
there.
hood stuff.
we there.
It ain't no white T-shirts
No,
and
we
foam
there.
and pauses standing in the
Nothing
corner
wrong with
looking
white
tough.
T-shirts. I own a bunch of those.
Yeah, but you gonna wear your button up one this time.
Got my grown man on.
Right. But yeah, it's gonna be some
I don't want
grown
t-shirts.
stuff, and you'll be like, man, he really respects the craft. By the way that I run my show, I'm already funny. So let me show you the way that I know how to run a show with respect for the comics, the waitresses, the vendors, and make sure my audience is safe.
That's what's up.
I'm just gonna say, nobody's safe. My name is Renee Moncada
Tell me where you
McGilvray,
can find you.
and I'm coming for y'all in the 2023 with all my productions on Apple TV, Disney Plus, and Netflix.
Hey now.
I work
Tell 'em
in
where they can
silence,
find you.
but when I do, they call me Grasshopper because when I leap far and long. I stay free for a second, and I'll just be doing this, and then bam, it's way over there. So
And you are the host of what?
the Venus Lounge.
The Venus
It's
Lounge.
the podcast where we just talk about shit.
I will be on the Venus Lounge.
Yeah, come on.
I promise you, I will be out there, and you will see a different flavor of Tristan Johnson. It's the Cognac, and I don't even drink like that. But yeah,
Kodiak, the
Yeah.
Zodiac.
the cognac.
Yeah, the Kodiak. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's how you know I don't drink.
the
Cognac.
Kodiak.
Yeah.
You can stay alcohol.
And my illustrious co-host is always.
I'm Pharaoh, and I'm an intern for Renee. And she's educating me on different things like infrastructure and team building. Because sometimes as a man, we have to recognize where we have weak points. And if
Yes.
there's someone that can help us shore those things up,
Help-
then we should
let them
at the
help
very least have an open ear.
Open ear.
And-
Ears open, man.
I'll
Right.
set up the meeting for you.
And I am Deshaun, the king,
Yes.
Mr. Keep It
Would you
Cloudy.
attend said meeting?
Mr. Humbly Cocky
I would.
himself. And you can find me when you fucking up and your chick doing something that. Yeah, never mind.
Grant
Another
Pacers.
story.
Garfield
92.
eyes.
Garfield.
Grant
This nigga eyes
Pacers.
look like Garfield.
You had
Just
Coach
doing-
Abel-Genie, right?
Oh, Al, yeah.
Yeah.
I had Al when it was Al
Reed
did
and
baseball.
them. Yeah.
Remember, before
Thank you,
Albergini, it was
Deshaun.
Coach
I just want to
Vuk.
give a toast.
It was Vuk before
Cognac
Albergini.
Confessionals.
I only got to Sacramento in '98.
Let me
I
just
got
say
that
this:
92.
your podcast
Yes.
and your consistency and
I'm
dedication
trying.
to your podcast inspired me to do
Thank
my
you.
podcast because this man comes in here every Friday, dedicated at 5:00, very consistent.
Sometimes before. Yeah.
Sometimes before that,
And
we
gas
keep
is
chopping
going
up.
down, so it cost me less to come Friday
But
than it did
he
Monday.
Stays consistent, and consistency is
Thank
key.
you. Yes.
And so you motivate me,
thank
and
you.
I just want to.
Speaking of consistency, you ever see a nice looking chick with an ugly dude? The nigga was consistent. I've said that forever. You motherfuckers better get
And
it.
thank you for
better learn it.
representing the sisters.
Thank you. You're
Sisters
welcome.
always here. It's one of my ears to this life. We converse.
Yes, we do.
I humbly and respectfully and enjoy her input and insight because this is a sister who she doesn't coddle when she'll be like, "You full of shit," And
I
that's
call
what
it like I said.
yeah, she calls it, and that's what men, not fuck boys, not the motherfuckers. Y'all be picking over and over and over and over and over and wonder why you keep picking the same motherfucking bitch. Quit fishing in the same pond.
You gotta
bitch,
meet my wife.
You fishing in Lake Merritt, nigga, Lake Comanche
Yeah.
over here.
I normally don't go nowhere without my wife.
I
So.
would
But-
love to.
I respect this woman, this sister, so much because she is the
Thank you.
essence and embodiment of black power.
Angela Davis.
And when I say black, I'm not talking about us black as people. I'm just
It's
trying to
color,
keep
yeah.
something that y'all can gravitate to.
You get it at
slow
3 in the
niggas, you
morning.
get that at 3 in the morning. But she's a knowledgeable sister, and she's business savvy, and she's on her shit. And she teaches me shit, even about my
Vice
podcast.
versa.
She be like, okay, well, what about this? And let's do it. And I'm like, whoa, blows my mind. I'm like, okay. So, and I say that once again to say that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong fucking room.
Not necessarily true.
That's if you're not being greedy. And damn, I want to call them people out that get over on everybody, but I'm not because I don't want to be canceled. But you know who the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway,
We gonna
no
sing the
Mustang.
song? We gonna sing the song?
Now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Hey man, y'all have a safe night, man. Be easy with yourself and everybody else, and have a good weekend. Yeah.